Let's do this. Happy Saturday, everybody. How are you doing tonight? Oh, boy. Already behind on the comments. Let's see how this works. Diabolical's first. Renegade's Garage. Will set the reminder. Nicely done. Oh, my gosh. You know what, gentlemen? I'm going to have to take a break. And, yeah, in a little bit here. For sure. 36. Yeah. Old time welders here. Drill Sergeant. How are you? Ed T. What's up? Joey Morrison. Good day, Zach. Corey the welder. Hello, everyone. New to this channel. Got a few questions for Heavy and the room. Is it okay? Absolutely. Corey, welcome to the chat. And this is gonna be great. I'm telling you. You're gonna get hooked. It's very addictive. I'm going to tell you that right now. So ask away. Anything is, you can ask really anything as long as it's about equipment, vehicles, stuff like that. We don't talk about politics, religion, or any other crap like that on here. We try to keep it away from that because of all the regulations that we have to deal with. So, yes, it is. Absolutely. Ask anything. See, look at that. Best community on YouTube. Absolutely. Good day, Zach. How are you? How is my my awesome Australian friend doing? Diabolical, what's up? Hey, Turbo, sub Turbo. Oh, let's see here. Joey, how you doing? How you doing? Love the video. Yeah, I'm gonna try to. Today. I didn't get any footage. I had it's one of those days. But shop manager / owners in here. I'm sure there are. Personally, Corey, I'm an independent field mechanic now, which just recently happened. But ask away, man. No worries. What's happening? Nuts and Butts Tone. We're just going to call you Tone. I heard that last night. AgTech 45, how are you doing? How is the Saskatchewan weather today? Hit that like button. Yes, thank you very much. Please do. Bubba made it from Texas. What's up, Jeff? How you doing, Zach? Yeah, a few in here, somewhere, everywhere. Yeah. Actually, John Russo, I know is a shop owner for sure. I'm trying to think. Joshua Brandenburg, what's going on? I've been. Thank you so much, Corey. I appreciate it so much. It's awesome. I have to ask, what's the first video you watched of what's the one that locked you in? Curious on that. I don't know what it is. You know, a lot of people have seen my toolbox tour. And I still haven't done a truck tour, but next week I'm going to try to get that in. I'm going to try to take the video next week. So, cheers to that. What's the banner below the American flag? Oh, Ferris? Ferris State. It's in Big Rapids, Michigan. I went there for college. That is the college that I went to for heavy equipment technology. Graduated there. I'd love to say with honors, but yeah, it's a technical school. And let me send this text real quick here. Let's see if I can get some stuff going. Anyway, sorry about that, gentlemen and ladies, if there's any ladies in here. But yeah, that's what it is. X-Fell. Sup, Occupant? How you doing? Power Stroke Jude. Nice new hat he's got. representing the 6-0. Will, I am going to start calling Will here. Will be one with the sledge. I wish I knew his last name because that would be like, listen to that title. Will be one with the sledge, whatever your last name is. Tell me if that fits, Will. Does that fit? I want to hear it. Same old stuff. How you doing? Hi, Zach. Didn't get a chance to email you this week. Sorry. Power Stroke Jude. What's up, homie? All good. How are you? Chilling? The Heavy Wrench is now a small business owner. I am probably the smallest business that you could imagine. It's just me. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, just starting out. It's kind of wild. Today I put in a pretty good day. We've been up to porch light is on. Darn straight. Thank you, Don. I can almost see it. Ag Tech, I picked up a 3. It's extended reach ratchet on Friday. You're gonna love it. Love it. Oh, wait. Snap-on? Oh, phenomenal, man. That's awesome. That is awesome. Truck tour. I'm gonna work on that. Thursday -20 to Friday 0 again. So you're swinging. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Cold, then really cold. How was your party, Joshua? JD Tech, can't wait to see what you think of it. We are plus 30 to 40 degrees Celsius down here. Fits. Perfect. See? My wife is cracking up. I'm telling you, dude, it fits. It fits. MLH Repairs, the snow removal champion of Pennsylvania this week. For sure. What's up, Repairs for Oats? Good evening, JC. How are you doing? I got like 3/4 of the way through your Milwaukee video on the grease gun, and I used one the other day for the first time, and it was pretty nice, actually. So it was pretty good. Are we ever going to catch up on comments here? Yeah, we will. Let's see. Everybody's going to say hi to everybody. Except for Bubba in Texas, I'm chilling in the cold. Do I work on snowplows? I try not to. Tarek, holy cow. Thank you so much for the $25. I appreciate that. Thank you, man. It's great to see you in the chat tonight. We actually have a special guest, maybe 2 of them. She almost made it in the live stream. Nope. She was close. Her arm did. Just an arm. You got to see her arm. It's wild. It's wild. Just an arm. Look out. Anyway, we have XFL sure is. Hey, Ag Tech. All right. We have a guest. We're gonna add him on. Some of he's been new to the channel recently, and figured what the heck, we'll have him on. He's got his own channel and is doing mighty fine at that, by the way. So let's bring on this guy. I don't know if anybody recognizes him, but I need my headphones because I'm not going to be able to hear you without these on. I don't even know if I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can. Perfect.
There you go.
Let me crank this up because it's only been like 1,000 years you're going to tell me since I've had a on. But yeah, nuts and bolts with Tone.
What's happening, everybody?
Tone, as we're going to refer to him as, because it's that's a lot to say. Just like the heavy wrench is, it's ridiculous. But how's new shop life?
It's okay. I don't know. It's only a couple days. It's kind of hard to tell but it's like you got 3 different guys getting paid 3 different ways. So that makes it really, really difficult because I'm in California. So California used to be flat rate, just straight up whatever hours you flag, that's what you make.
Yep.
If you suck, then you make double minimum wage. But then they did away with that, several years ago or longer than that ago. And then a lot of shops have you on like an hourly with a production bonus. So as you produce more and more and more, you make more and more and more per hour. And this shop's got a guy on flat rate. It's got a guy on salary. It's got me on the production bonus. It's kind of weird. Not real sure. It's different.
Gotcha.
Only been a couple of days, so it's hard to tell.
So your production bonus is kind of like a hybrid flat rate.
Yes, exactly. It's. I always joke about it as California flat rate. I mean, if
so it's a base
my
pay.
last job, I'm sorry.
It's a base pay with, it's a base pay set at 40 hours, let's say, and then if you turn 60, you get a bonus, right?
Exactly. Yep. And then some shops like they do it where you just make more per your clocked hour. So
okay. Yeah. Good evening, Black Smoke. I was just kind of getting through some of the comments where everybody was kind of talking to each other there, which keeps it interesting. Did I get it? Did you get any snow this week, Tone?
No, I live in California.
You didn't get any snow in California? Okay, because that's when I know it's bad. Okay, if you start telling me you got like 8 inches of snow, I'm out because I'm gonna just check out. I'm gonna go try to find a safe place, and not a safe space, a safe place, and we'll go from there. I don't know. I just but we had a little bit of snow. We got the grass was covered for a whole day. This morning the grass was covered, and about 2:00 it warmed up to 34 degrees, which I don't know. How long have you been in California? Whole life?
I lived in North Carolina for 10 years.
Okay.
When I was 17, and then back here for 16 or 17 years.
Okay, so you pretty much.
It snowed one time where I live because I've always lived on sea level.
Okay.
But in North Carolina, it snowed.
Okay. Because here it's I always in Michigan, because we're surrounded by the Great Lakes, so humidity is always high because the Great Lakes just give us that, which is awesome and not at the same time. It's not in the summertime. It is the most not fat guy friendly weather here in the world. It's awful, but it's okay. So we had snow covering the grass, and then today it warmed up to 34 degrees. I would love to see 25 degrees over 34, because 34 is just warm enough where the snow melts. It gets you damp and cold. We're 25 degrees. It's just cold. You're not getting wet because everything's frozen. It's good. But yeah, it was just miserable this afternoon. 34, horrible. I'd rather have 25. I'd rather have 0 or negative numbers. At least then you can just go for it, tell the missus to jump out. She will not. She will not go on a live stream, I don't think, ever. She supports my YouTube I guess I don't even know what you call this endeavor. Because it's I don't even know, hobby, endeavor, whatever you want to call it. And for the record, YouTube is the worst get rich quick scheme in the world. It's not gonna. JC calls them pesos because they pretty much equate to pesos is what you get each month for doing videos. Unless you're into doing truly nonsense content.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Them are the types of guys that make it big. And some of those guys are my favorites. Zip Ties and Bias Plies. I don't know if you've ever watched anything of his.
No.
Oh, he's wild, wild, crazy. It's good. Everybody's saying hi to you. Look at this.
What's up?
You know what
This
the
is my
coolest
first
part
live
is?
stream.
You know what's the coolest part is you and Will here came in on the same night and both were commenting the same, like you guys came in at the same time and found the channel. How'd you even find the channel? I guess that's a good question for you.
I found the channel from One Mechanic. One Mechanic, and there's one. I always say it wrong. It's Dzeni. Those two guys helped me out a lot when I first started YouTube. So when I first started, the reason I made my channel was because I always kind of thought it'd be kind of cool to, share with everybody, what I do. Right? I'm in the independent world, so it's a gas, it's a diesel, it's a European, it's an Asian, it's just a cluster, right? But I always thought it would be kind of fun. And the way I ended up starting it with my very first video was that I had an eco diesel and it was timing, and I had to time it after I did heads on it. Never worked on one before. I'd never even seen one before. So it was in a Jeep Cherokee Eco Diesel 3.0. And when I was doing it, I marked all the timing chains and all the sprockets because I had no idea how to put it back together.
Yeah.
The tools were coming, the $300 tool set, but I didn't know. So I tape markered everything. And when I went to put it back together, there's no notches, there's no anything. It's just you put the chains on in a certain spot, you pull the tensioners, and then that's it. And so I thought, man, this is just crazy. So I'm gonna make a video about it. And I went to make a video when it was all apart. The cover was off, and I started recording. And I went, nope, never mind, I can't do it. And I turned the camera off, and I just felt dumb because I talking in front of the camera, it's just weird.
Oh, it's horrible.
Right.
It's horrible. It's the hardest thing to get used to. Now it's like second nature because the biggest thing is what I've found is it's literally just it makes you feel like you're making an ass out of yourself.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, you're going to be the one editing this to make an ass out of yourself in front of everybody. so it's like the greatest thing because you're going to get to look at it. And it doesn't matter what the video is. Now, lives are a little different where, this is going out there and it's going to be, this is the first time I took all the live streams and put them as private because it's crazy. This is my 41st live stream on this channel or 42nd, something like that. It's crazy. And I've been doing it since, let's see here. I got to check just because it's wild. My first live stream was on February 2nd of 2020 is the first time I did a live stream on this channel. So I've just crested a year on YouTube, and it's been awesome. It's it's wild to think I have 2,800 subscribers is unreal. Like
that's awesome.
I don't know why people like watching me, but maybe it's because I don't mind making an ass out of myself. It's okay. So Corey the Welder's a new guy here. He's got a question. Is what pay should I ask for jumping into this? I am certified DOT bridge welder, and in the interview they want my position to be welder, going to the apprenticeship program, 2 years experience prior. What pay should you ask for? That all depends on what state you're in, what everybody else is making. There's a lot of variables to that. What state are you from? Let's start there. Let's start with what state you're from, because that changes a lot. Because like you guys in California, your housing is ridiculous.
Oh like, God, yeah.
It's insane compared to here.
Well, here it's crazy because you can almost, if you were in the fortunate situation where you had not really bad credit and you had a little bit of money, it's almost better to buy a house here than just to rent anything. Renting an apartment, even renting an apartment here is almost the same as a house payment. It's crazy. It is. It's just.
It is. And it's like, I live on I live on close to 14 acres where I live. I live pretty much out in the country. I'm like, for me to get to let's just say for me to get to a Walmart, right?
Mhm.
It's a 25-minute ride, I'd say. 25-30-minute ride.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like a McDonald's, I can get to in about 20 minutes. So
Okay.
15-20 minutes, something like that. So, I mean, it's not like super rural, but it's, there's still a lot of farming that goes on around here too.
Right.
Are you in Northern or Southern California?
I'm in Northern California. I'm on the outskirts of Sacramento. So I mean, for me, like we live in what's called Mather. So it used to be an Air Force base.
Okay.
They tore it down. My wife actually, I think her dad actually was stationed here, but they tore
Okay.
it down and they just built housing on the existing streets and everything. And so I mean, for me to go to Walmart, it's like, I mean, it's still like a good 10 minutes to get to Walmart because of stoplights. And for
Yeah.
you, it's just a lot of road, right? You're just driving straight miles. For me,
Yeah.
it's
I'm
stoplights and
driving.
traffic. And, so it still takes a good, 10 minutes to get anywhere. I mean, I can get to the grocery store pretty quick because they put a grocery store right around the corner. But for a while, for us to go anywhere, it was a good 10 minutes where we live. But that's all because of traffic, not because of. I mean, you're kind of like when I lived in North Carolina, it was the same way. It was all I lived out. Actually, I lived really close to where Richard Petty lives in North Carolina, and it's just a ton of driving. I mean, you're going 65 miles an hour. You know what I mean? Well, slowing down on the curves, but you know what
Whatever.
I mean.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
very similar.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of one of those things. But you're in Northern California. That's it's crazy. I went to a school in Ohio for a company called Gradall. They make kind of specialized stuff. But I went to their school the one time, and there was two guys from California. One was from Northern California, and one was from Southern California. And it was insane how completely different these two guys looked and were. And you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the dude from Northern California, he lives up by a bunch of dairy farms and vegetable farms and all sorts of stuff like that, right? He walks in cowboy boots, pearl snap, walks into class. And the guy from Southern California, hat on, short sleeve, shirt. Like, it was just, and I've got nothing against tattoos. He was tattooed. He was like just this dude, and, just, it was crazy. And I'm like, you guys are from the same state? Jesus. Like, how does that work? And then they were telling me about how Northern California is. And I'm like, And he's like, because they were doing a lot of driving around in Ohio. Laying in puddles sucks. Yes.
Yeah.
30 to 35, 40 degrees laid in a puddle is the worst. Now, Turbo Tai, Southern California. Yep. I don't want to hear about it, dude.
It was not that warm here in Northern California, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. These guys are just going after the comments. Yeah, stomping in the mud. That was a nice day. That was like 50 out. That was a beautiful day. 5-6 hours north of you. Negative 34. Yes, that was 2016, 15. I don't remember, but it was the coldest day in Michigan that I can physically remember. And we had a cow having a calf, and she needed help. So I had to pull the calf, and I stripped down to a t-shirt because it was so cold out. I didn't want to get my sweatshirt wet or anything, And I stripped right down to a t-shirt, helped that calf be born, and grabbed a towel, wiped my arms off, put my shirt back on, and was like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Oh, I'll have to check on that. I'll send you a message, or I'll post it on there. But apparently that is called a spike mall, is what I was told by a few different people on Instagram. And thank you for all sharing that, because I just called it a railroad hammer. I had no clue, but it's called a spike maul, is what I was told.
Oh, okay.
But it is the most phenomenal tool for like kingpins or bucket pins or anything. Oh my God, we are like, holy cow. I'm gonna have to get through some of these. The cool part is like everybody's saying hi. I like that. Like some people get kind of, it's weird because I'll be on somebody else's live stream and I'll type something and people will say hi to me and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, hi, try to say hi back. But it's like, I just stumbled in, didn't even have social media till that night. That is crazy.
That's awesome.
It's meant to be. You're meant to be a friend. That's the thing. Awesome. Burlington, Pittsburgh. Yeah, they had some snow up there in Vermont too. Everyday Fleet Tech. Yeah, have you started your new job yet? I do not. I have not subscribed to Vice Grips Garage yet. That's been on my list of things to do. I did.
Nice.
MLH. Actually, I left a comment, and it was funny because it's funny because it was like one of those things, and we were talking about stuff, and he kind of called me out on one of his videos the one time, and I was like, oh man, he's watching some of my stuff and called me out a little bit, but it's all good. I mean, like tonight I actually talked to him on the phone.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool. This is a great community. I like contacting people on Instagram and talking to different places and things. So you work on automotive diesel or automotive everything?
So automotive everything. So I do on an everyday basis. I do gas and diesel. I do everything from Chevy to Duramax to Cummins to Power Stroke on the light duty side. I mean 450s and 550s on the Power Strokes, and do gas European. I do all of that. I worked at a shop where I worked on MPRs for a while, so I can do the some medium duty stuff.
So sorry for the NPR.
It's actually with what's weird is so the shop that I was at actually had the NPR. They had actually had the Isuzu software, and it's actually really not that bad. So it's really nice having factory scan tools. So luckily, I've been fortunate to have like the Ford IDS. I've been fortunate to have access to that and to have the Sudo scan tool. Other than that, it's pretty much using a Snap-on scanner. In the beginning, when I first started working on diesels, because I worked on gas, that's what I went to school for. That's all I knew. And the first diesel I ever worked on, aside from maintenance, was head gaskets on a 6-liter Ford.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, exactly. So
way to break you in.
Huh?
Way to break you in. Nice
yeah, I go hard every time the first time I work on something. So, and a 6-liter diesel, I mean, if you don't know anything about a diesel, that's really difficult because like gasoline, I can go to any gasoline vehicle and figure out what most things are by looking at them and figuring out where they are. Well, 6-liter, what in the world is a wavy rail? I have no idea.
Well, that's the thing, like you start talking, and the problem with 6 liters is the same as with cat and different stuff. Once you step into the Huey world, the hydraulic unit injector world, right? Like Hueys are the most mind-boggling systems that aren't that mind-boggling to begin with. Like now that you've dealt with a Huey a few times, it's like, okay, cool. But if you'd have started out as your first diesel as that 7.3 IDI that you put the injection pump on, how much simpler would it have made it? Where you're like, oh my gosh, this is like a little distributor. And it goes and it's got something in there that goes bang, 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 bang around the. Okay, so this is like a distributor. Okay, cool, and it sends fuel instead of spark. Oh my gosh, life is so much better, right?
Oh yeah.
But when you're talking fly-by-wire and stuff like that, it's crazy. I talk to myself all the time, so talking on the camera should not be a big deal. Absolutely, I talk to myself all the time. the worst part is sometimes I have great conversations and don't even know what I'm talking about.
Me too. Me too.
See, that's when I feel like I should just be able to call somebody and be like, hey Tone, I'm going to talk about nothing. And you want to talk with me? Sure, man. Sounds cool.
So
But
one funny thing is when I first started working on diesels, so I worked on that. Then I went to a shop and they would get a bunch of Sprinters. And so that's a Mercedes Freightliner, just a big cluster right there. But anyways, I didn't understand it. And the codes don't make sense because they're all in Mercedes lingo. And so I would have to send them to the dealer because I didn't know what to do. And then when it would come back, I would read the notes and I would read exactly what they wrote. And I would run out there and I would look at the truck and I would pop the hood and I would look at what they replaced. So I could kind of start to figure out, okay, all right, so this is what they're doing. This is what these codes are starting to mean. Oh, okay, so it's just a really complicated way of saying that we had a charge air leak, but I didn't know. Because I still didn't really understand diesels that much then, and I kind of just got thrown in and, hey, you learn the hard way. And I'm learning on flat rate, so I'm learning at my expense, so.
Absolutely. And that's the tough part, it's like the school of hard knocks. Just because you went to school doesn't mean you don't have to deal with that school.
Oh God,
It's like, it's insane. Corey the welder, he was asking about pay. He's outside of Georgia. That would be a good question for Everyday Fleet Tech. If he could help us out, he is in Atlanta, Georgia. So he's right in your neighborhood. He might be able to throw up and you're going to be going into an equipment shop as a welder.
Mm-hmm.
So Everyday Fleet Tech might be able to help us out on that one because he's right there. He works for a fleet maintenance. He works maintenance on a fleet. So he might be able to give you a good I hit
the like button before I got on the live stream, so I got the button already. Make sure you hit that like button, guys.
Yeah, hit the like button. It is it does help out the channel like crazy. It helps it share around a little bit. There's this YouTube every CP or Everyday Fleet Tech, can't remember. Yeah, CP the Tool Act had me. My first live stream I was a train wreck, dude. I was doing YouTube for like maybe a month, maybe, or 2 months or something like that. Had no clue what I was doing. And CP the Tool Addict, it was an awesome live stream because he lives in Iowa, right? Mm-hmm. And he called out on one of his videos or something that we need more automotive techs and less diesel techs. And I'm like, dude, no, we need more heavy equipment guys than ever before. Like, we can't get anybody around here. But when we started talking, we had a good conversation about it. And it was kind of funny because we ended up figuring out that I live about 30 miles north of Detroit. Okay. So I am in the Motor City.
Mm-hmm.
We have plenty of automotive mechanics in Michigan. Okay. He lives in Des Moines, Iowa, where John Deere's factory is. And it's all farms. He has plenty of diesel mechanics and heavy equipment mechanics in his area, right? Because everybody lives on a farm. Everybody wants to work on their stuff. So they do that, right? And it really came down to, you're only as smart as the part of the world you're standing in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy, so it was funny, like that was my first live stream, and I was trying to defend the heavy equipment mechanics as like, hey, no, we need more. Like, people need to get into this business.
And there's really not what's crazy is there's really not a lot of really good techs out there.
Thanks, MLH. I Mason just the distance between the donut shop and McDonald's is about a block and a half, and usually I can finish my donut before I get my sausage McMuffin in the morning. So, it works. Oh man, I feel like that's a setup to like an old Chris Farley, statement. But A Murray's in the house. What's going on? Everybody's gonna love what yeah. Because you can give directions without getting lost, without getting lost or hungry. Yeah. Oh, the Bay Area, California.
Hey, I grew up in the Bay Area.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I grew up in the Fairfield area, and then I lived in Benicia when I went to school. I went to school in Fremont, lived in Benicia. So yeah, I lived there for years.
Tyrone Trinity there. He was I think he still is in the military.
Oh yeah, the diesel soldier,
diesel
right?
Soldier, yep.
Yeah.
Danos. Oh, Brian Meadows is listening too. Hello, Brian. Good to have you in the chat. That was a while ago. I read that, but everybody's gonna start busting my chops here if I don't catch up on some. You're all doing great, Bill Beckett. Dano, Ferry plowing snow for 3 days. JC. We're not going to get to the donut topic. No, we're not going to the donut topic.
We're just going to want donuts.
Oh my gosh. I lost it. Spike Mall. Glad to hear someone else works with cattle. I have several Spike Mall hammers. Okay, here we go. This is where we were. We have high clay content in our ground. 32 makes your boots. 30 is 30 pounds pretty fast. Yeah, that's the problem with it, is it all sticks to you. We got 40 people in the chat, Tone. Who knows? You might end up with like 40 new subscribers.
Hey, you know what? I've been very fortunate. When I first started this channel, I was goofing around. I actually did it for fun, not for a job. I just did it to just share with the world what I do and to help people out. And I know the Eco Diesel. There was nothing on YouTube about this engine. You can pretty much go on YouTube nowadays. So I generally go on there and kind of research a little bit to kind of get a general idea of something I'm about to dive into. So I kind of know what I'm looking at, right? So I'm just not looking at Spanish. And there was nothing on this Eco Diesel. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to make a video about this and tell people how to time this engine. And then from there, I went and did like a preventative maintenance video. And my wife was like, no, you got to stick with one thing. You can't go with the DIY home guys and mechanics. You got to pick one. And I'm like, you know what? I'm a mechanic. I'm going to help mechanics. And so I just went that route. And between that and the Instagram, it's just sharing my work stuff. It's really done well, and people like what I'm doing. And I love all the comments and the feedback, and it's really, really cool. I really enjoy it. So
yeah, I mean, if I had any suggestions to people getting into YouTube, the biggest thing I would say is stick with your phone for editing as long as you can.
Yeah,
the GoPro thing, it takes a lot of time. Oh my god! I
actually just figured out for editing. I have an Android phone, so I just figured out something. So KineMaster is what I was told was the best thing. Use KineMaster; it works really, really well. And so I had a really hard time. I mean, I have a phone; it's like an S9. It's a pretty big phone, but it's still not very big. And so I tried another program editor, and it left a watermark on my video the whole time. And I was like, I'm not redoing this. I put a lot of time in this. I just put an apology in the description, And so anyway, so I'm using the KineMaster, and I figured out my wife bought me a laptop for Christmas early, and I figured out if I plug in my phone to my laptop can become my phone because I have an Android. So it has this. It's called Dex or Dex. I don't remember which one, but so I literally edit my videos now on my laptop with my phone plugged in. So I've got this, big old, 15-inch screen editing the videos and, using the mouse pad or whatever. I haven't got a wireless mouse yet, but I got a laptop, so I'm happy. But so that works really well. Yeah. But I've heard KineMaster is the way to go. Stay with that.
I used Video Shop on some of my ones I did on my phone, and then I got a camera for Christmas, a nice digital camera.
Oh, nice.
It was awesome, and it takes great video. Like my video improved immensely.
Right.
But the problem is you take these little SD cards and you get them full. Then you have to put them on your computer. Then they have to download on your computer. Then you have to download them into, I use an Apple computer right now. And then it downloads into iMovie. And then I can start working with them. It takes me almost an hour, probably 45 minutes before I can really start editing and moving stuff, just transferring the files and getting them imported into where they need to be.
Wow. And they take up a lot of space too.
They do. It's ridiculous. I had to delete a whole bunch of my videos.
Do you delete your videos or do you save them? I did a bunch of research about it.
I'm deleting them. I mean,
there's really no point in keeping them. I mean, it's like
you can. From what I can tell, is I can go back and download them off of YouTube.
Oh, okay. I never checked that. I never tried that.
Which the way it looks. So like you can. Yeah, like I think I can download them off of YouTube. I don't know exactly, but I think I can. But so I've been deleting some of the first ones just because. And it is what it is. But I don't they're out there, whatever. And if I ever do go to a different platform, it's not like I'm gonna take all of my old videos and move them over or anything like that. I'll just keep moving forward.
Well, I mean, and they're still there. They're not going to go anywhere. People can go back and look at them. I mean, unless you do something really bad and they're like, we're removing him completely because, oh, God, he just made, really bad for YouTube. Like, sorry, pal.
Yeah, like I said, it's crazy. I'm curious if now that Milwaukee grease machine that JC Smith just did a view on, I'm curious how his monetization will get affected by him calling it the actual name instead of a grease machine. And the impact, other thing, like, because I've had limited monetization on some live streams because I've called an impact its full name, what we would normally refer to it as.
Oh, wow. Okay, I never thought about that.
And it's crazy because like it's weird. I don't know if they're pulling them words with some sort of AI or what, to figure it out. But there's like 3 or 4 of them, and that's the only thing that I think that I said on those live streams that would do that. JC Smith came across me as suggested. That's crazy. That's awesome. He's got some awesome videos too. I like watching his stuff. For some reason, I don't know why either. You know what I mean? Like it's not like I can say, oh, they're the best because of. It's just good stuff. Kind of like your IDI. So my dad bought an IDI, not running. First of all, it's a 1990. It was a 1990.
That's what that one was.
90 or 92, something like that. Anyway, he bought it not running. Come to find out, low compression. So we found an old like U-Haul truck, international, that had an IDI in it, and the guy wanted to sell the engine. Bought the whole engine. There's a lot to switch over if you go from a true international to the Ford.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yep. The oil cooler is totally different on the side. The brackets, everything's crazy different.
You said that was a 92?
It was a 90 or 92, something like that.
Did it have a turbo?
91. No turbo.
Oh, okay. The one I had had a turbo, so that was kind of a pain.
It was market. I think that was market.
Oh, I never even looked. You're right. That's right. I honestly never looked at it, but you're right. I remember seeing that something about that because I never looked at the turbo because I never had to mess with it.
There was an original. That was like the original coal roller of its time. Was the IDI?
Oh,
that was like big power, like crazy. And then the Power Stroke came out.
Yeah.
Custom 13 Racing. How you doing today? Suzu Trash. JC does not like that. Yes, Canada uses Celsius.
Yes.
Absolutely,
And
they do.
kilometers. My wife's family is Canadian, so
Okay.
everything is kilometers and Celsius. Yeah.
Yes.
Anytime, and they know. It's funny. So in America, we use miles per hour and
Yeah.
Fahrenheit. But if you live in Canada, though, you automatically know. Like, so somebody says, "Hey, it's 64 degrees Fahrenheit. What's that in Celsius?" You have to think about it and go, I don't know. Maybe I have to Google it. Not sure, right? Or kilometer conversion. If you live in Canada, though, if they say, "Oh, it's 18 degrees Celsius," and then they look at you and go, "Oh, that's this in Fahrenheit," they already know what that conversion is.
Yeah.
Because they deal with it so often that they already know what the kilometers and Celsius conversion is. It's actually really interesting to talk to people from Canada because they just automatically know that. It's just
Yeah.
it's
AgTech
so
45 is
true.
from Saskatchewan. And it was funny because back in the day, I know 100 kilometers an hour is 60 miles an hour. I know that for a fact because my buddy bought a truck that was from Canada and the speedo was in kilometers. And the one time we were coming home, he was dropping me off from football practice for my truck was broke or something, whatever it was. Anyway, and I look down and he's doing 100, and I look out the window and I'm like, dude, that's way off. Like, there is no way we're doing 100 right now. And he's like, yeah, look at the speedo. We're doing 100. So I looked at closer and I'm like, that says kilometers on the outside and miles per hour on the inside. Jesus. Oh man, I was like a junior in high school or whatever. It was
Oh
a fun
God.
thing. But I'll never forget that. You got put over a barrel at the 6.
6.0s aren't bad.
No,
I mean, they're good.
I actually, they have their issues, and Power Stroke Jude is like the 6-liter guy, I think.
Yeah, that's what he worked on.
Yeah, so there's a guy that I know that's from Michigan. He ended up moving to Texas. He has got a bad to the bone 6-liter.
Is it deleted?
It's a 2-wheel drive 6-liter, and there's a turbo in the bed of the truck.
Oh my God.
Let's just put it that way.
Okay, so it's like
it's full on race truck. There is no.
Okay, wow.
I mean, it's a street truck. I don't know. He drives it down the road. It's street legal,
right?
But it's just
a turbo on the back.
It's got a turbo in the bed of the truck.
How is that legal?
It's legal. I don't know.
I guess if it's the same size.
Well, here's the other thing.
Depends on where you live.
In Michigan.
Okay, I live in California. It's way different in California,
and probably in Texas. Yeah, California is the place that I used to refer to as the restriction maker upper.
Oh yeah, everybody copied California.
It's where restrictions come from.
Yeah,
but yeah. So I mean, hold on. What's this say? Same here. We don't run in freedom units. Yeah, freedom units. Oh, that's hilarious. It gets confusing if negative 22 Fahrenheit is negative 30 Celsius. Yeah, all I know is 0 and 32 are the same.
Yeah, that's it. Same
right?
Here.
That's it. Other than that, I couldn't tell you boiling point, none of that stuff. At least your first wasn't a Caterpillar with Acer. Oh my God, don't even. Acer was it's kind of a cool EGR system, I would say, but whatever, that's neither here nor there. The 6 liters delete the EGR. It's been around forever. That was like, oh yeah, there was a lot of guys that actually got busted in Michigan recently, the past year. I would say 2020, 2019. They went through and the feds actually raided a whole bunch of diesel shops for deleting trucks. There was guys deleting semis, straight up deleting semis. I came across one that I did an engine on it. They threw a rod through both sides of the block on a ISX 15 liter, 500 horse. But yeah, so the rod, it was number think it was number 5 cylinder rod came through both sides of the block, and it took
crap.
out the ECM. So it hit the ECM and smashed it. So it was no good. And anyway, so I go to get a new ECM and put it on and all this stuff, and come to find out, I didn't know, but when the engine was swapped over, it was a engine shop that we used that we bought the engine from, and they said, hey, just send us the core and we'll swap over all the parts for you, and it'll just be a R&R. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. They found the EGR was deleted on it. And then they did the EGR, put the EGR back together and everything like that, because we couldn't do anything deleted, right? We had to put it all back.
Well, so the right way.
We thought it was just an EGR delete. Well, because it still had an SCR, DOC, everything was still in place on the side.
No EGR?
No EGR. So
you would think they would delete it all. That's weird.
I'm having a problem with regens. I'm having all sorts of problems, this, that, and the other thing. And come to find out, they were empty. All the catalysts were hollowed out. And but I was getting So I was getting a differential pressure reading, but it was because somebody bent the tube enough on the one side to cause a differential pressure. So they kinked the differential pressure sensor tube enough to cause it to go, but the software wasn't right for what they had done.
Holy crap.
And I'm like, oh my God, it's gutted. And now the customer had the truck back for, I don't know, a couple weeks. And he's like, man, I'm just having regen problems. I can't get it to regen. I'm trying to do this, that. And I'm like, dude, I don't it's reading differential pressure between the two. It's got to be like, what the heck's going on here, And come to find out, I never reached my hand in or put a flashlight or, nothing in the exhaust because the canisters were there.
Why would you?
Yeah, why?
It all looks like it's there. You would have no reason to go in there.
It was horrible. So then, it was $14,000 for the after treatment stuff for that guy. I felt bad, but man,
I had a Cummins guy comes in for a blown head gasket or a head gasket issue, and he wanted his EGR cooler put back on because he had moved out of state, and he brought it in. I was like, okay, overheating is your head gasket, and you need your EGR stuff put back on. And by the way, your entire exhaust system is missing. That was $20,000.
Yeah,
it was $10,000 for the exhaust for that truck, for all the exhaust. I'm talking about all the temp sensors, everything.
Now I'm thinking back in the day, you could have spent $10,000 and gotten an engine with exhaust, and you'd have been the fastest dude in town.
Man,
back in the think about it, back in the 70s, and now you're just talking about a pipe with some catalyst. It's crazy. I'm like the emission stuff. I have JC Smith. It probably helps. I'm a Suzu trained, have dealer support. That is huge. It's just like people busted my chops about JCB. As soon as you figure out how they think and how they do things, it's easier, but still not the greatest, because JCB comes from Europe. It's a British company.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to order a hood for it, no, you have to order a bonnet. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's called a bonnet. It's totally different. Which you watch, I'll have somebody from the UK on here tonight, and they'll be like, "Come on, man, it's English. Stop messing with us." Rebuilding the trombone step deck. Yeah, if you're inside the shop, it really makes no difference. All right, go ahead, man. Yeah. As for fleece line jeans, yes. Fleece line jeans, I like. Yeah, Carhartts are a must. Water pump 7.3, 6.5. Oh, the 6.5. Walter, the 6.5 was a special engine. When they had the injection pumps, once they get a little bit of water up in the top or something with their fuel, it would take out that injection pump, and what a pain in the It wasn't that bad to do, but it would happen a lot. Probably if it is what you do every day, you get used to their odd ways. It is, I think. Bill Beckett, Everyday Fleet Tech. What do you think? Is he still here? I got to catch up here. We're not going to switch. No, we're not going to switch to the donuts again. Oh my gosh, I am so far behind. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're talking to Nuts and Bolts with Tone. Check it out. There it is now up there, so you can check out his channel. We have 4 texts. We could use 8.
Nice.
Yeah, making me hungry. Look at how far back we are. We're talking about McDonald's still.
Hey, 12 days and 4 texts. That's awesome right there.
Yes, I put them to private just because I don't know if you think I should leave them up, let me know. It was one of those things. I just don't want them to cloud my other content. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I can leave the live stream up that we did Ag Tech when I had you when we were on together. That'd be cool.
I think everybody wants to see me again. You
know? I figured I'd leave it. I figured I'd leave it live. Oh, Diesel Dog 1988. What's going on, brother?
What's up?
He's got some eco-diesing, meaning
yes.
Chrysler. Okay.
Yes.
So they're stopping production on that engine.
Oh, really?
Right? That's what I heard. I was at a Cummins school and they said they're taking that line and moving it to a smaller one because they're not trying to Panel 73 were stationed there for a year. So Walter Frederick lived in California for a little bit. But yeah. What is the name for your channel? I keep getting music channels. Nuts and Bolts with Tone. He got
Nuts and Bolts with Tone.
Adobe Clip. That's what he uses. JC Smith uses Adobe Clip.
Okay.
There you go. Let's see here. But yeah, it's been so I was thinking about taking them off after a certain amount of time just because I don't know. It seems like it's clouding up stuff and I don't know. I just did it. Maybe I'll put them back on.
You got to be careful on YouTube. So when I first started, I did a head gaskets on a Prius and I thought, you know what? This would be kind of cool. It's going to be my first repair. And so I set my camera up. I put a box on top of a box on top of a cart. And I set the camera up, and my camera kept shutting off. I didn't know it would only record for like 30 minutes. So I do this like 6-part video, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm like just cranking away. I mean, I'm a flat rate guy, so give me a repair, and it's nothing but
yeah,
elbows, and you know what I mean. And I would stop and talk a little bit, and then I uploaded like 3 of them, and then all of a sudden I got a notice from YouTube saying, "Sorry, there's music. We're shutting it off." And you got a copyright warning. And I'm like, because I listen to music. I have a computer right behind me.
Yep.
And so I realized, okay, so then when I did that IDI, that was like one of the first ones I did repair on. I had to make sure there was no music. And that was really weird working with no music because I like to have music on and just get cranking. So
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like I listen to a lot of podcasts when I'm working. I'll put my earbuds in and I'll listen to a podcast. And but when you're doing a video, like I used to do when I was working at the shop, I used to do all my videos. I would start at 6 in the morning and I would go in at 5 and I would set my camera up in front of my toolbox and do a video.
Right.
And I would try to hammer it out with nobody else there. And then I did a couple of I did a road grader that I did a transmission on a road grader. $150 for a Milwaukee cordless ratchet. That's not bad. Home Depot coming in with
you don't have to grease them.
Yeah.
You got to grease the snap-on ones.
Yeah. I bought an IDI in 1988. Yeah, 94. Yeah, 94.5 is when the Power Stroke came out.
Yeah.
My brother's got a 94.5 because it's got the OBD1 plug.
That's the OBD
with
stupid plug.
With a 7.3.
Oh, Jesus
Power
Christ. That's
Stroke.
so dumb. Even in gas cars, that OBD1 is just ridiculous.
It was the smartest dumb kid on the block now, right? Like, I mean, it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like me. Imperial for construction. Do they really? ATS kit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good night, JD Tech.
Yes, have a good one. Expo.
Good editing. Happy editing.
Yes, which is there it is.
I got a couple I gotta edit this weekend also.
Remember, it's not
great.
Remember, it's not California tone.
Cali, baby.
If California uses fuel, it's illegal.
Hey, you know the whole reason that in California we smog light duty diesels. The only reason that we started smogging them is because of programmers. That's the only reason that they started doing that, was because I worked at a Gold Shield station back in the day, which was like the highest level smog station you could work in.
Okay.
When we first started smogging diesels. And so the Bureau, we said in California, what makes automotive repair suck is you have the Bureau of Automotive Repair, the BAR. Worst thing in the world. It is an organization that is designed to help the consumer and catch bad shops. So they go after shops that are reported to be doing bad stuff. They're also in charge of the emissions. And so they came out to show us all the things about diesel smogs. And they showed us about programmers and big, oversized tailpipes and all this stuff. And they told us that the only reason that we smog light duty diesels in California is because of programmers. And I mean, you know it. You get behind a truck that's got their programmer on 6, and they go to get on the freeway or the highway, whatever, and it's nothing but black smoke, just bellowing out. That's why we do it in California. That's the only reason that we started doing it.
The funniest part is like there's a page on Facebook called Michigan Coal Rollers. And it's literally it is a bunch. It's crazy. But it is what it is. And I had my 7.3, I had a 2001 7.3. Was my vehicle before. I had that for 10 years. It was an 01 or it was 01. And then I bought my 2012. So I had that one for the years might not line up, but either way, I had it for a long time. And I put a 6-position chip in it. And I did a cold air intake and 75 horse. 75 horse was awesome. And then I started messing with it, and I took the stock air box and put it back in, put a regular K&N air filter in it, and then behind the honeycomb on the 2 outside of the grill is right where your air intake goes in. I took hole saws and I cut holes in there and made it like a ram air into my air filter and then into my turbo. And it took my 40 miles an hour to 60 mile an hour. It cut like a second off of it. It was crazy how much it was crazy. Cause I was, drag racing myself down from this point to this point. I went back and messed with it and did it again that same day. And it was like a second faster.
Wow. My old boss had a 7.3. And I didn't know this one. I didn't know a whole lot about diesels, and all he had on it was a programmer, and that was it. I could hear him 1 block down the street and 1 block over, coming up through a residential neighborhood, barely driving. I could hear that turbo spooling, just in normal, like not even getting on it. Like he's driving down a normal street in the morning. That 7.3 was something else.
Yeah, they're awesome. They were awesome engines. They're probably the most bulletproof.
6.7 is a man. The 6.7 Power Stroke is just
I'm
wow.
I'm digging it.
Wow, it is amazing. It's expensive.
Knock on wood. I've got 124,000 on my truck right now, and it is literally no emissions deleted or nothing. It's stock, bone stock. I add DEF when I do an oil change, and I do an oil change religiously, and it's good to go. Actually, I don't do the oil change. My brother works at the Ford dealership.
Oh, nice.
So basically, it's always been hey, I need an oil change, bro. Here's my keys. We pick it up.
It has a regular screw-on oil filter now. There's no more canister. Like, it's so much easier.
It's nice.
So much easier. And bleeding the fuel, you do fuel filters. It's a piece of cake. Starts right up. It's just you know what though? It's expensive. I just had one. On my if you follow my Instagram, I was trying to make a video about it, but I left the shop before I got to. But I had this 6.7 that had a misfire, and that thing, it needed an engine. It was $27,000 for a Ford reman motor. Labor, I believe it was labor and all. It was $27,000 for a motor for that thing.
You can buy an ISX 550 horse ISX and put it in a semi for that kind of money. Wow. Just so you know, they're about 35,000 for a new engine in a semi.
Holy crap.
Like, I mean, that's a wheel loader semi. It's pretty much 35 grand. Tool Cartel. There's another Cali.
Oh yeah.
Cali boy. You guys are anything new? Oh, the glider kits. Yeah, I think they're being phased out because of the emissions. And I think, there's Warren he does have some interesting videos of putting emissions back on stuff or he's actually doing a backwards glider kit is what I kind of want to call it. Like an inverted glider. He's up by Oregon, Northern California, right in that area. And, the customer has an older truck that he wants to put an emissionized engine in because he wants to keep the truck in California.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, what year is the truck
though? It's got a B model cat in it, so it's older. It was all mechanical truck. They were getting to be over
76 or there's no smog.
He has, I forget what it was, but it was something where they got by for a while because it was too old or whatever for California.
Okay.
I guess they have a year now where it's too old for California.
Okay.
Or something. I don't know. But anyway, he's putting a full emissionized engine in it in an old truck.
Wow. Holy crap. Earlier you were talking about in Michigan how they were coming after the feds were raiding places. In Texas, they're doing the same thing. In Texas, it's not illegal to remove emission devices, but the federal government it is. And so the federal government's going in the same thing, and they're busting people and they're shutting down shops. I used to work with a guy that worked with the company, and he was going to move to Texas, and he was telling me about it, that the federal government was going in there and raiding shops and shutting people down for removing all the emission devices.
It is. I have a. Yes, you should be able to. It's like the old catalytic converters. We used to be able to take them off, and just cut them off, put a piece of pipe in there, and you're good to go.
You guys have emissions in Michigan?
We don't check emissions at this point.
Just make sure the emission devices are there?
No.
Oh, you don't do anything?
No, there's no vehicle inspections in Michigan.
Oh, wow, you guys are lucky.
There's DOT for heavy truck.
Well, yeah,
anything truck, commercial, but you don't check emissions on heavy trucks.
No. Oh, but you make sure it's all there, right?
Yeah, right. Yep, sure. I make sure it runs good.
Hey, the depth is good though. Why do you want to eliminate the depth?
I am. Yeah, there are DEF elimination kits, but here's what I want to start a movement of no more EGR. I want to see signs and protests and all sorts. You need to go to all the engine manufacturers and protest them and say no more EGR. That's the killer of the engine, right?
It is. I mean, EGR's bad.
It's horrible. You're sending, man. You know,
one mechanic. Like, what's up, brother?
One mechanic, $10 holler. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You don't
work.
It's not something that you have to do. I don't like these super chats. Sometimes get me kind of, man. You know, like it's kind of takes me back. You know what I mean? When somebody gives me something, it's like, man, I'm not doing it for that. It's okay. I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I appreciate it, but
maybe he was giving that $10 to me. You know what I mean? Maybe that was like a cheers tone.
Maybe, you know. There's something about those borders. I'll just show on the fly, Dave, XFL. Yeah, they're not great. Canada's pretty, for the way Canada is, they're pretty okay with stuff. Okay, do I have tea and crumpets when I'm working on JCB? Now, I will tell you this, though. There is, in their back hose, there is actually a tea warmer plug.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
In some of their back hose, because tea is very important. But yeah, so they're yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, tea and crumpets, I'm down. I don't care. But here's a funny fact, though. I will give JCB some credit, where credit's due. They do have a manufacturing facility in Savannah, Georgia. And they make their backhoes and their load-alls and their skid steers down there, I believe. So they actually make and produce machines in the U.S. They're not all boated over.
Okay.
So I will give them – I will tip my hat for that. And the guys in Savannah that I've talked to personally about different issues have been pretty decent. I will give them some credit with that. They've been pretty decent at helping out and, you know, keeping their machines running. So
are they fully built there? Because so the reason I ask is I was heard that sprinters are said that they're made in the United States. Now I never researched this, but I was told that they're built overseas where they're made. They take them apart, they ship them to Florida, they put them back together, and because they're reassembled in Florida, I'm not even joking. This is what somebody told me. And they're reassembled in Florida, and because they were put together in Florida, they're made in the USA.
No,
and then they're shipped on trains all over the place. I never actually looked to see if that was true.
That's crazy. But I do know that most of the parts are probably made in Europe or Mexico or somewhere. It doesn't matter. But I know that they have a factory where the assembly plant is in. They assemble them in Savannah, is what they do. That's and like cool. Volvo, if you look at a Volvo skid steer and a JCB skid steer, identical. Volvo buys the skid steer from JCB the way it looks.
Oh, so that's why it's a good skid steer, because it's not Volvo.
It's not Volvo. Yep. It's JCB. I actually put an engine in a Volvo. It's a JCB engine. I had the fuel sender is up on the side of the boom or side of the frame, and going in, I broke one of the fuel tabs off of it because they're plastic, right?
All right.
And going in with the engine, I don't remember what hit it. I think the alternator hit it or something hit it, and it just cracked that little tube off. So I was working for a JCB dealer at the time, and I found the cross reference of what that machine would have been in a JCB, and I got the part, a JCB part, put it in that machine, that fuel sender, and it was perfectly the same.
Really?
100%, no difference. The only thing that's different is the dash and the color.
That's awesome.
And their skid steers are different too because they only have one arm on the side.
Okay.
So it's a single boom for the skid steer. It's not two like normal where they come up on the outside of your cab, so you can get in and out of the door. And they're actually pretty nice. To operate them, I like them a lot. The Deer has a little bit better visibility, but I like them. The 6.5, yeah, the 6.5s, the
We talking about
6.5
the
older,
Chevy?
the older Chevy 6.5s.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
I'm all set with that.
man! We had a school bus one time. Comes in, this thing is like a log cabin inside, like literally a log cabin. The guy has it's got a wood burning stove in it. I had to put an injection pump in that first time I ever worked on one of those things.
Yeah,
Oh my God, that was awful. That sucked. I got lucky though. I marked where the injection pump went in.
Yep.
And I took the new one and I put the marks about where it was. I bolted it up and everything ran fine. I didn't have to do anything with the timing.
Yeah, and getting that filler neck off to get through on the pickups, you had to pull the filler neck and then pull the plate and then pull the lines, and it's very similar to the IDIs. But I used to work at a landscape place, and as soon as somebody put a little gas in that truck, it was over. Yeah, I was thinking somebody set up there, leave them up. I might leave them up for a month or so and then make them private, just because there's so many of them. I don't want to but yeah, I'll leave some of them up there. KE, I'll try to leave yours up too. Let's see here. Really, moderators cannot post links anymore. What the? This is crazy.
A heavy tone.
This could be a Saturday. The heavy tone. Yeah, why not?
There we go.
Yeah.
We got the light duty, the heavy duty, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, half ton with a 6.5.
Why? No.
Half ton 6. Hold on, the 6.5 diesel? Come on.
It's gotta be.
I don't know.
No.
What? Nice R. Kelly quote. I don't know. Occupant bar bait cars.
Like we're missing something.
Yeah. Years ago, there were a couple people that rolled coal on a politician's Toyota Prius. Yeah. I actually have been. Oh, I'm a jerk. There was a little. It was. I think it was a Honda Civic, right? And I was in the city, like, at the time, and I was going to class, and I was actually in Lansing. I'll just throw that out there, Lansing, Michigan, our capital, right? And this little Honda Civic comes up next to me, and it's just pop, 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 like revving up, thinking he's all fast and stuff. And we're at the light. He was in a Honda. And we're at the stoplight, and we're in like this there's a mall right up the road, and like on this 2-lane highway. I'm right next to him, so I creep up a little bit, and he's like wanting to race me, and I'm like, all right, whatever, dude. So I start spooling up, and I let her eat. His window was down. It was summertime. My exhaust came out stock position. I actually watched him pull over off the road to let the smoke out of his car. It was awesome. I was gone too. I just gone. No big deal. And
but he never pulled up next to a diesel truck, revving up his engine ever again.
And the worst part is I had that truck named, and I thought it was the coolest name ever. Some people may or may not be into Burt Reynolds, but I did name that 2001 Power Stroker Ace. That was its name. Nice. So I mean, it was yeah. It was born to race.
One mechanic. That's for sure. There you go. Hello.
One mechanic's probably driving the train again.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I would give a shout out to one mechanic. He did a lot of helping me out when I first started.
He is such a good dude. Like, you know what the worst part is? I have a One Mechanic t-shirt sitting in my pickup right now.
Oh, I need one of those.
I'll May. What's her name? Something May. I'll send you her info.
Okay.
She's selling them for him. It's going directly to her. Tech May and training, or Tech May.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
send
yeah.
you
Okay. I've heard of that. Yeah.
she on Instagram. Get a hold of her.
Okay.
She'll sell you a t-shirt.
All right.
Ship it right to you. Yeah, 13.5 a 13.5 liter Deere Reman, 107,000. 100 grand for a 13.5. That's insane.
How much?
Okay,
How much
both is
do those things help? Those engines. I saw.
a 13.5.
How many miles do those things go? I mean, how many
Well, like a
on the heavy
13.5.
duty stuff?
Let's say on a machine, let's say an excavator, a wheel loader, what construction equipment, right?
Yeah, that's the construction.
They basically say a 10,000 hour machine is what they are.
Okay.
Is what they give you. I had a John Deere 6068, which is 6.8 liter,
Okay.
in a decent sized wheel loader. We're talking anyway, I had it come in the shop, a hole through number 6 block rod.
Okay.
I found the wrist pin on the frame. Okay, outside.
Wow.
I drove it in the shop.
Okay.
It had 24,000 hours on it. Original block to the machine. So, but this thing here, this machine was nasty dirty, but the company that owned it was meticulous on preventative maintenance. I will say that. They had every time it needed anything, they took care of it. But 24,000 hours is like crazy.
Well, the reason I asked is I saw so Caterpillar Wrenching. I think on Instagram, I follow him. He's a big, heavy duty, big stuff.
Yep.
I can't even comprehend how big that stuff is, but I swear I thought it said 980,000 earlier today. It was a rebuild. It was a full rebuild.
No,
it was 980,000. I was like, I just as a medium light duty gas, I was just thinking about that, going, holy crap, that is a lot of operation.
Hours.
It didn't say it said 908. It was like 900.
Was it a machine? It was
What?
a machine, though. It was a
machine. Big machine. Like a big mover.
Yeah, like now that stuff they definitely do a lot of rebuilds, like completes on that stuff. So certified rebuilds, you can get way more because you're going through the whole transmission, the undercarriage, the everything. You're redoing, you're making it new again. So they do that every. I'm trying to think of how many hours generally they do that at, but it's like 10,000 hours. You can take it in, and Cat will do a certified reman, which will go through every nut and bolt, wiring harness is new. They basically refurbish the whole machine.
Oh, wow.
From top to bottom. We're talking frame off restoration type stuff.
Oh, wow.
So they'll do that, and then they'll fix anything that's wrong with the frame or wrong with the, all new hoses, all new, everything, So they will do that on the mining equipment, especially because you're talking millions of dollars for that stuff.
And to get it to the job site, that's got to be quite a thing.
I'm gonna have to pick on Callie again here because he's doing a California glider, so it's like many other. It's backwards. Now, Tone, I got to ask you about the Cali lean on the pickups. The Cali lean, where they lift the front and leave the back squatted. Is that popular or
it's dumb. I don't know why people do that.
I was just curious.
I really don't know why they do that.
I think that's like, the old redneck hot rod is put 35s on the back of your 2-wheel drive pickup and leave the front stock. You're good to go. Extra couple leaf springs, and then, yeah.
I don't know why they do that. That's just.
Yeah, the Diesel brothers got into some hot water. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Volkswagen.
Volkswagen.
They got
Big
hammered.
time.
There was a parking lot where the Detroit Lions used to play. I can't even believe I'm mentioning they're a football team, but they're a legitimate professional football team, the Detroit Lions. I don't know if you knew that or not, but they're marketed as a professional football team in the National Football League. How true that is since Barry Sanders left, I don't know. But needless to say, those are the two things that Detroit Lions ever had was Barry Sanders, Hanson the kicker. I guess we'll go with 3, and Calvin Johnson. Those were the 3 things that the Detroit Lions ever had. But their old parking lot at their stadium, the Silverdome, they actually had that full of Volkswagens that were recalled and bought back. I had a buddy that made money off of a Volkswagen buyback. He found one that was a piece of crap, and the guy wanted X number of dollars for it, right? And the buyback was paying this much to buy it back,
Right.
and he just bought it, took it back, dropped it off, and got a check and made a couple grand. Like, it was insane. Where the guy, I don't even know. It was, yeah. Illinois, yeah. No one. There's quite a few in the Midwest that don't have that stuff. Ohio's, yeah.
I've heard that states are actually they're copying California, but they're going even more stringent than California. There's some states that are even more meticulous, and it's even harder in those states. I don't know what they are. I've heard that, but they they adopted it all from California, but they're totally taking it, making it way worse. I mean, as long as you guys don't have the BAR, if you don't have the Bureau of Automotive Repair, you're good. I actually, when I was looking for a new shop, I actually saw a Subaru ad come through, and it was like, we want to relocate you, to work on Subarus, but you must be a master Subaru mechanic. And I was like, I don't even remember where it was. I was just like, hey, that'd be nice to not have to deal with the bar. And I applied just to see. I wasn't a master Subaru mechanic, but I just
whatever.
thought,
No EGR on my MXS C15 A cert. Gotcha. Mine either. Cat had bought EPA credits to get around that. I love my C15. The 6NZ, it's ridiculous how popular that serial number is. And that's literally the 6NZ is like saying 4BT or 5.9 or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, that's the serial number break of that engine.
Okay.
It's literally, that's Caterpillar's first 3 letters of their serial number, 6NZ. And then it goes on from there, but them were the good blocks. There was one, I thought there was one 6NZ that was kind of weak though. Or maybe it was a 6. I don't remember what it was. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The nuts and bolts with Tone was right. The cargo versions classified as light trucks are subject to 25% chicken tax if imported as complete unit, which is advocated by the disassembly. So yeah, if they're as a complete unit, so they're 20. If they do come back, yeah, that's why they reassemble them. Is 25% is what they save to disassemble and reassemble.
Sprinters.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, you guys can all just call me Tone. You can just call me Tone in the comments. Make it easy and simple.
I am 100% 10,000 miles behind our thing here. It says 10:15 where I'm at. It's 10:29. So we're not doing too bad tonight. We're actually keeping up on comments pretty good.
We're talking too much.
Yeah, we're dropping some comments here. So they're delete new equipment before they even sell it up here in Saskatchewan. Agco dealers, also John Deere, would spank us hard if we did. Yeah, if you delete it before it's over.
I'll check that out.
check it
I got my
out.
phone muted because that thing is just vibrating and blowing up like crazy right now. So
I am going to try to do a live stream next week. Hold up. What's next week's date?
that's Christmas.
That's the day after Christmas, right?
The day after Christmas. Okay.
It's the day after Christmas. I think I might. I'm pretty. We'll see. We'll see. I think I might do. What's up, Yoda Dog? Occupant, Renegades. I'm gonna try to catch up to these comments. I do apologize for that. Tech May. Yeah, there we go. Was quoted a customer 35,000 for replacement of a Cummins. Yeah. On my way home. Right on. 13.5 was a year old in a combine. Yeah, that's that. There you go. Okay. That's expensive though, seriously. After tearing apart the old engine, had this in my dad's John Deere 410, which was taking coolant. A reman. John Deere does not give the core charge money out after tearing apart the old engine. Had this with my dad's John Deere 410, which was taking coolant as a reman from AIS. That's interesting, Walter Frederick. It sounds fishy a little bit, but I don't know if they do or not. The core credits were always tough for me as a tech, figuring that stuff out of how you get it back and what it is. Worn out would be folks were back on my phone. All right. Thanks, Brian. People wanted to keep their TDI, their state refused. We never got to what's his name? New York is being harder on their inspection and emissions too. So
Yeah.
New York is getting there. Running late. No big deal. You know what's crazy? I just caught all the comments. Well, I was. Repair for Oates. Have a great night. Correction. John Deere gives the core charge after tearing the engine down. Yes. They don't give you the core charge credit until they take it apart on newer warranty engines. That is the tough part. Now, you had a 410. I'm guessing that was 4045 engine. So, yeah. Even as a dealer, we have to put the engine back together to get full core credit. They will give you a percentage of the price. Yep. Skipping don't count. I didn't skip. Well, I skipped some of everybody saying hi and stuff, but that was it. Unless maybe I didn't. My subcontractor blew 6 payloaders this week for snowstorm. Also, it's going to cost him $27,000 to replace each one. Holy cow. How do you blow up that many? How do you blow up 6 loaders in a week? That's a bad deal. John, you might want to talk to him about some preventative maintenance. You know,
yeah,
change the oil once a year or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it's been it's kind of a crazy thing, and like the emissions thing always is. It's intriguing to me. Like there's 3 types of people. I did an emissions video a while back, but there's 3 or 4 ways you can look at emissions. You can either ignore it, stick your head in the sand and say, I don't want to work on that stuff. If you're an older chap, and just be like, no, I'm out. Well, there's still a lot of old iron here in Michigan that you can get by on, because of we keep old stuff running. Here, there's a lot of old non-emissionized engines around that have 0. Like we still have straight up old stuff. So
what years are you talking about?
Oh, I'm talking like the 90s, 2000s, 80s.
Oh, okay. So here we have smog. We have emissions from 76 up. And
Yep.
they've done multiple programs where they did like the biggest saving grace for us was like a cash for clunkers program where
Yep.
they allowed you to bring your vehicles in and retire them, and you got a certain amount of money. And they would take those vehicles, and in that program, they weren't allowed to sell anything that had to do with the engine or emissions. And they literally drained all the oils out of it. And
Yep.
I'm not sure if they poured something in it. They would run it until it seized to make sure that they couldn't sell it. And then they would dispose of it. Well, that was the best thing in the world because it got rid of all of these old crappy Mercedes that we were having to do emissions testing on. But so a lot of the 76 to 96 vehicles went away. A lot.
Yeah.
So we don't have as many.
And there's all sorts of, I mean, in Michigan, we don't have to worry about that too much because they just rust away. So that's kind of a thing. We kind of have this thing where, they just kind of rot out and they're
Natural
gone.
selection, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, if you have a 10-year-old, like I'm waiting for rust holes to start on my 2012.
Yeah.
Like it's coming. You
can't avoid it, right?
No, it's just part of it. And
yeah.
It's just all part of it. I tried my best and did the Z-Bart and all this stuff, and it's just not. I don't know if it's ever going to be. It doesn't matter. Anyway, but yeah, the emissions thing. You can either ignore it, or you can embrace it, or you can fight it. They're the three things that I kind of went with, and it's kind of one of those things where if you ignore it, you're going to be outdated. Period. Mm-hmm. If you embrace it, you're going to learn about it like we're doing, and we know what the things are doing, and we know why. When people get on the I hate death bandwagon, like you said, why? It's the greatest thing in the world because now you can have an engine running at the optimum performance where there's no smoke. It's using all its fuel. It's creating good horsepower. But you get all this NOx. Well, all you got to do is throw more DEF at it, and you get rid of the NOx. Mm-hmm. So let's fill it up with DEF and have a great running engine that's clean. Yeah. We don't have to deal with this garbage EGR. I mean, I bet you if you asked AgTech 45 how many EGR coolers he did in the past year, he probably wouldn't be able to tell you. I mean,
how many? AgTech, tell us how many.
I bet you I did in the past year when I was at the dealership. I bet you I did myself 10 or 12. Myself on construction equipment. Because they plug up, they crack, you know what I mean? The whole schmear. It's not.
And those are different, right? So those out here. So I always tell people that I just had my son's friend's dad brought his truck in, and he had just got a 6.7. It had like 100,000 miles. Yeah. And I told him, I said, you know what, man? If you take that thing and you just drive it to work and back, and you haul your trailer once in a while, you have to take it on the freeway and just let it rip. I mean, drive it like you stole it. Let it, ease back down. Drive it like you stole it. Let it ease back down. Burn that exhaust up because it's just going to plug up. You have to drive them. So how is the heavy equipment? How does that work when you can't just let it rip on the freeway? You know what I mean?
You have to. Like, that's the problem is the number one problem is like a backhoe. Okay. For instance, the backhoes are the worst because generally speaking, there's a lot of light duty on a backhoe for the hours. So like if you pull up a load chart, now we have load charts. John Deere has load charts that you can pull up and you can see where the engine's been running for how many hours of its life, right? Oh, okay. And there'll be times like there's some contractors out there, like let's say that are doing electrical underground, right? And utility underground. So they dig the trench, and then they'll grab a spool of wire with the front bucket or forks, and then they'll slowly back up at an idle and drag the wire out into the trench. And then sometimes they'll take the backhoe and they'll backfill it in. Other times they have a dozer. So sometimes this backhoe is literally just being used as a fork truck and idling backwards, pulling spools of wire and gas line and whatever, right? So they just idle all day. Well, to get that thing hot and to run it, you got to be baling dirt, literally baling dirt, like just hogging, just hogging with it. And you can't, and that's the tough part, is they're not getting them hot enough to get rid of it. Liquid glass and cash for clunkers.
Okay. All right. I knew they put something in there. I worked with a guy who told me it was the coolest thing in the world that they would pour something in. One mechanic, what's up, brother? That they would pour something in the engines and then run them and then watch them seize up. And they said it was pretty cool. I've never seen that, but whatever. I'm just happy to not see those cars in the shop.
It must be nice because we do. How was the train, Dave? Yeah, how was the train? Turbo tied compressed natural gas engines running EGR. What?
Because they're hot. They run hot as crap. The natural gas, I don't work on those a lot, but they run hot.
Do they?
Yeah, they run way hotter. Yeah.
He's done 7. But has to be around, but they have to be around 20 for the year.
Wow.
I mean, it is mind blowing if you could get rid of that system. But the problem is, here's the problem though. Here's the problem with the EPA in my mind. Okay, the regulations that they've come up with. They still want you to be fluid neutral. Okay? Which means, okay, like let's say they're saving over the year, let's say they're saving 100 gallons of fuel by creating a better, more efficient engine, right?
Right.
That means they only have 100 gallons of DEF to use over that year to be fluid neutral, right? So that's why they implemented EGR and they keep going with it so they can say whatever. But I'm telling you, if you had a guy with a transfer fuel tank in the bed of his truck and a DEF transfer tank, and they had to have both, and they didn't have to have a guy like me or a guy like you replacing the EGR cooler every year and a half, 2 years,
right,
and that thousands of dollars of the bill, they'd probably be pretty happy.
The EGR has never been great. Even back in the early gas, it's always clogging up and plugging up and little tiny EGR ports. And here we are with speedometer cables trying to, like the older vehicles, we have, a guy who's been doing it for a long time if he has an old speedometer cable in his toolbox. And that was there to clean EGR ports because we would put it on a drill and run it through the intake to clear the ports because they would plug up on the small stuff. Yeah. Way smaller than what you're dealing with. But,
but it doesn't. It's all the same
crap.
stuff.
Yeah. 20 years later.
I mean, John Russo, over 3 months, my techs have done over 300 of them.
Holy crap, 300?
He's got a pretty big place up in New York.
Okay.
Shop. But equipment are sent up to the Arctic. We deleted everything because the DEF would freeze steady and the DPF would plug up because of that's the other problem.
Temperature.
When you
it's not even designed to run at that temperature.
When you can't build heat, you can't have that stuff.
No, that's why there's you can't even there's nothing you can do with that.
Run them hard and you don't have problems. Let them idle and putter around. They're a headache. Absolutely.
Well, and that's every diesel though.
Everything now.
Even the light duty. You take the light duty trucks. You get the mom and pops that go to the liquor store or go to the gas station and back, go to the whatever, and they bring it in. It has no power because the exhaust is plugged up. It doesn't matter what kind of vehicle it is. You can't idle a diesel anymore.
Yeah, I don't. It's tough because I have a scanner that'll do it. And it'll do a forced regen. I've never done a forced regen on my pickup, and I've got 124,000. But like you said, every so often I'm ripping for a couple hours of a drive. So it's good to go.
First
Honda
time I
did
ever
this
did a forced regen was on a 6.4 power stroke. And it's sitting there, and I'd never done one before. And
Oh
it's
my
sitting there
God.
in the middle of the shop. It's the afternoon. I'm all by myself, and that thing is just screaming. And I'm like watching it. I'm kind of nervous because I've never done it before. I've never even seen anybody do it, right? Because I've never worked with a diesel tech. I learned everything on my own, right? And then all of a sudden, coolant just started dripping on the floor. I was like, oh, to run over there was a coolant hose dripping. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Dude, a regen is like the creepiest thing in the world to watch for the first time.
Oh,
but once
yeah.
you do them, you just kind of set them and forget them, and whatever. It's either going to go or blow. Whatever.
Yeah.
Have at it, the CNGs, the natural gas engines, Honda did it for a while, I guess.
Really?
I don't like Cummins is pretty big into the CNGs though. The natural gas engines, they're getting big in the genset side of it, is what I've heard.
Wow.
For like, because I was talking to a guy, I was down at Cummins class last year sometime in January, and they had a big V16 monster engine. If you ever want to see like a huge engine, look at the Hedgehog, is what they call it. They call it the Hedgehog. It's a Cummins Hedgehog. Don't just type in Hedgehog in the Google search. Okay? Don't type in just Hedgehog. Cummins Hedgehog.
You don't want to look up Sonic?
And spell it correctly. Ron Jeremy's face does not need to be on your Google search. That's all I got to say. So, it's
that's funny right there.
I mean, just be careful. Cummins Hedgehog. Spell it.
I'm gonna look that up.
But it's a V16. It's huge. They put them in trains. They put them in trains. They put them in gensets. They're insane, like literally insane. But they're running one on natural. They're going to try to get one running on natural gas, is what I heard. Because when a hurricane or bad weather or floods or whatever, right, you can't always get diesel fuel to the gensets that you need. But does natural gas get affected as much as diesel fuel when a flood or a tornado, or the pipes are in the ground?
Yeah.
So,
I guess so.
Natural gas is there, it's ready to flow. And it's underground far enough where you're not going to touch it. So during a natural disaster, you can keep power going on a generator with natural gas easier.
Just don't tell the EPA.
Yeah. That's the problem.
Put an AGR on that thing.
Oh, they are. They're doing all sorts of emissions on it too. They're
super high.
Yeah, and it's crazy. But yeah, my dad was hit hard during cash for clunkers, lost half of his used cars for profits. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was a disaster. A lot of people got into cars they couldn't afford. That's true too. It's disorderly product news. He wants me to share some footage I've been getting for a story. I've never heard disorderly product news. No idea. Tony time. What's up? You're in the house. Welcome, man. Hello.
The cool thing about the live stream is that there's no editing, and people see your true mannerisms. No matter what it is, right? You can't edit that out. And then you take that and you look at the videos, and that's the person that that you're watching in the videos.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like I am the same person on a live stream or on a video, but the difference is like when I'm on a live stream by myself, I'm the same person as I am on the video because I'm just talking to myself, which is weird, and it isn't. Whatever. Anyway, but like when we're talking as two people, it's so much better to keep a a live stream flowing, and it's nice because you get to talk to different people, and it's a crazy ride, man. It's going to be awesome for you. I'm stoked that you have a YouTube channel. I think everybody should really have one.
It's awesome. And you know what's crazy? You know what I love about it is you come on here, right? And so you work on things that I can't fathom, right? And you see things that I work on, right? And here we are. And I watch all the people that come through, and a lot of the same people that follow you follow me. And on Instagram is huge because I have a lot of communication with people on Instagram, and it's a lot of the same people. One mechanic repairs for Oats, work on big giant stuff that I couldn't even comprehend. And you just get a lot of comments, and there is a lot of, in the end, we all turn wrenches, and whether it's different kinds of vehicles, different kinds of things, it's all really the same, but it's different. It's weird to say that, but
it's tough for me because I have this. I guess it's kind of like CP the Tool Addict puts it pretty good when he's like the blue collar guy. This channel is more about I work on heavy equipment. I seen a void of heavy equipment, like you said. You seen a void on the little engine, the little eco diesel, and you're like, hey, I'm going to try to exploit this void. There wasn't very many heavy equipment communities out there. Warren, Western Truck and Tractor Repair, he has a repair channel. And he has he's got like 80,000 subscribers or some shit.
Wow.
It's crazy. And all he does is repairs tractors, trucks, whatever. And he does 45 minutes of him working on something, and that's his video. And he gets crazy.
Wow.
It's awesome. And I like it. It's a good channel. And then there was Stephen Cox, who did some heavy equipment type stuff also. But there really wasn't anybody. It was all automotive. And I was getting so discouraged because, like automotive, like you said, you can't fathom what I work on, and I can't fathom what you work on, but we know the struggle, right? Like I know 100% when you say, yep, broke some exhaust manifold studs today. And I'm like, oh God, no, there comes the 90-degree drill out. You can't see it. You're just, that's horrible. Like it makes me want to break stuff for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
same here.
And I see I see your Sunex tool cart packed right to the gills with all these different tools that I don't have or use or even know. You know what I mean? Like you've got such a different tool setup than I do by far.
Yours is crazy too.
Like I've got different stuff. We have different stuff, but we both go to the Snap-on, man, and we're like, hey, buddy, let's go. That's what we do. We're kind of, mean, the Snap-on guy might as well dance on a pole. We throw money at him so fast, right?
Oh, yeah.
But it is what it is. We both have a deep appreciation for a skilled technician and that's really what it boils down to. And 90% of these people in here that on a personal level, they are all very skilled. And I should say 99% because I don't know why I said 90. That's kind of a jackass move for the 10%.
Yeah.
But
the 10%,
whatever. The poor 10%. And we're in the 10%, just so you know. That's just the two of us in the 10%. Everybody else is pretty cool.
You guys are on 90.
But it's all about that appreciation for somebody like Turbo Tai Tai. He works on commuter buses in California, right? Freaking, I know what he's doing. He's saying he's replacing. He's what the heck was the one video where he needed this? He bought a wrench. Oh, I can't think of what wrench he bought to use. It was, I forget, but it worked beautiful for what he was doing. And I'm looking at it like, man, if that was in a regular truck, a regular semi, it'd be no big deal. You wouldn't have to have that special wrench. But
Right.
because he works on a bus, it's a struggle. It's
Uh-huh.
like, and it goes back to that comment. You're only as dumb as the part of country you're standing in, right?
Right.
Like,
Well,
I'm like,
a couple of days ago, one mechanic, he had a video about an IPR socket, right? So he has
yeah,
this IPR socket. He's like, hey, there's a tool haul. I picked up a couple things, right? So I got this IPR socket. It's 3/8 drive. He works on internationals. I work
yep,
on Power Strokes.
yep,
Same thing, different platforms. And
yep,
I'm like, and I got this, I think it was, I can't remember if it was a Lyle. I can't remember the tool manufacturer, but anyways, it was 3/8 drive. And he's
yeah,
like, oh, I'm not real sure. It looked a little shorter than my regular socket. And I'm like, hey, in a Power Stroke, it's fantastic because it's 3/8 drive. And so you can get the 3/8, extensions down in there easier than all you're not removing the turbo. So, I mean,
yeah,
high pressure pump. So you're kind of fishing your way through and hurting your feelings trying to get your arm in there. And so for the 3/8 drive, it worked great. But for him talking, it was the difference of the length of the socket of whether,
yep,
how it fit in there. It's just really interesting to
yeah.
see
It's
that, same setup, just different platform,
yeah, different. It's a totally different world. It's like,
It is.
man, it's crazy because I enjoy that part of it too. This channel has brought me so much broader of a view of people. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. I
Like
do.
if you'd have told me that I would have talked to, let's see, I've got you. I've done a live stream with Katie Built It. Uh let's see who else was on there. Tool Cartel. There's like, I bet you there's 7 or 8 different California guys that I've talked to
Right.
on live streams now. Like,
That's awesome.
and for me being from Michigan, right? Like I am so far removed from California, right? Like I am built for winter. I've got insulation
What is
on.
winter?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And there's yeah, Michigan and Venice Beach have to be like the two furthest things from each other, right? Like,
Well, Venice Beach is not. You can't count that as California. So that is like Southern California, San Diego, just like
okay.
amazing. That is not Northern California. We are nothing like that.
Well, I
That
get
is like,
that, but
yeah.
in my head
Oh,
from
gotcha.
Michigan, right? Like, and
Right.
that was what was crazy about that class where I met that guy from Northern and Southern California, and I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, you're from Cali, dude. You right there. You are not. No, there's no way. No way. And he's showing me pictures of his of this landscape that is just, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how nice it is out there. There was a time when me and my wife when we got married, what was it, 7-8 years ago? You guys were having the drought. It was a
Oh,
bad
yeah.
drought 7-8 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And being from Michigan, we grow a lot of hay, right? And I was like, man, I was looking at cattle out in California, and there's some nice freaking cattle out in Cali or out that way. The West Coast has got some nice cattle to offer.
Right.
And I was like, I told her, I'm like, maybe for our honeymoon, we'll load up the stock trailer full of hay and go out to California or out that way where the drought's going on and see how many really nice cows we can get for our breeding herd and bring them back and have like this, where we could really get a good deal, and we did not do that for our honeymoon. I will tell you that for sure.
You're
But
kidding me.
no, really, she wasn't down with it. I don't know why. I was like,
That's
how cool would that
crazy.
be? A road trip. We could go to California. And she's like, we're not going to get to the part of California that I want to go to. And I'm like,
You sold me on the honeymoon. I mean, I was ready to go with you.
see, I was like, come on, like it was pretty good. Let's see. We had to change the filter on one 6-7 service trucks. We have at the shop 140, 90,000 miles. It was $6,800 for the DPF.
Wow.
I bet.
Okay. I was about to
For the
say.
DPF.
I was like, fuel filters, $6,800. Okay. All right.
CNG start up very easily in the cold weather.
Well, yeah.
How cold? Come on. You're from this California thing's got my mind blown. How cold? Oh, that was the other thing. The guy from Southern California was telling me he used to put his wrenches. He worked on paving equipment too, like asphalt pavers.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, yeah, man, we have to put our tools or wrenches right in 5-gallon buckets of water. I'm like, what? He said, yeah, if you leave them on the asphalt, it gets to be so hot you can't even hold your wrench, you know.
The asphalt. Hell yeah.
Yeah. He's like, it's ridiculous. It's horrible. And I'm like, what? And he's like, all you people from Michigan care about is your screed heaters that so they put heaters on the asphalt, the actual flat part that lays the asphalt's called a screed.
Oh, okay.
It's like it's the back end that actually flattens it out and lays it in place. And he's like, all you guys care about from Michigan is screed heaters and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, have you ever tried to pave asphalt at 40 degrees? Like, he's like, yeah, we turn them on for like a half hour in the morning and then we're good the rest of the day. And I'm like, there's times where they run them babies all day, you know? But yeah, it was just different.
Talking about the turbo tie. So my father-in-law, he used to be head of the maintenance department in Sacramento for the buses, and they used to have the old diesels, and he was actually a big proponent for getting the natural gas buses up here. And so he would go down to Southern California, and they would actually go and they would drive the buses. So they would go meet with the bus guy, and they would go drive around in the desert down there, because it's super, super, super hot. And they would do all their testing in Southern California because of the heat down there in the desert. Yeah, to try to get, because they were lining it all up on what buses they were going to get and what transmissions, because they didn't go with the Allison transmission. I forgot. We actually just talked about this a couple weeks ago. It's my favorite topic to talk to my father-in-law about because it gets him talking, because he loves that. And he talks about all the different companies, you know, Allison and all the radiator companies and all these different companies that were involved. And they would go and they would drive them around in the deserts down there in Southern California, because that's how they could test the CNG buses. Sacramento gets hot too. We get some, you know, we have some summer times where we hit record numbers where it's like 100 degrees for many days in a row. Not always, but we have had those. We've had those summers where it's, you know, in the 100 plus for, you know, for 10 days straight or whatever, and that's pretty damn hot. And you know, so that's what they used to do, is they used to go down to Southern California and test them in the desert. Make sure they worked.
And Cummins used to do that too back in the day. You know, when they had some bunch of stuff where they used to drive them across the country and test them down there in California too, to make sure they were good to go. And it's pretty wild. I want to make videos, but I feel like I'm not a good speaker. Dude, just put her to the hip and let her rip. You know what I mean?
You know how I made my first video? So here, remember I told you that I put my camera away and I felt stupid? So I came back a couple days later after I already had the timing cover on and the chains on, and I told my wife on Sunday night, I said, I'm making my video tomorrow. I don't even care. So I came in the next day, I set it up, I turned it on, and all I did was I taught my coworker, so to speak, how to time this engine. And I didn't, you know what's funny? I didn't watch it. I didn't look at it. I didn't do anything. All I did was hit upload. And that's how I started my channel. Because I never would have started if I had watched it. Because I would have thought, oh, I look stupid right there. And I said, I don't even care. And I hit upload. And like my first 15 videos, I didn't edit. I didn't even watch them. I just uploaded them. And I just put a heading. And that was it.
Yep. And
that's how I got started. Yeah.
And that's good to do. Just like, You won't. You're going to be super
No.
critical of yourself, but at the
Yeah.
end of the day, we're just normal people, right?
You are.
Like it don't matter if you got 100,000 subscribers or 100. You're a normal dude doing
Yep.
normal stuff, and the people that come across your channel, this is what I really truly believe is like everybody that comes across my channel, deep down inside, we're all the same bunch of idiots that we look at ourselves like. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you said, like that video that I posted on that excavator where I did the tracks, I had to do some serious editing. There was a couple of times where I was reaching up, my shirt pulled up, my old jelly belly was rolling out, you know. Well, I didn't edit those parts out, but where I bent over and I practically mooned the camera.
That's
I
funny.
mean, we're talking, I was like, oh my God, I'm editing the video going, holy shit, we got to edit this. This is not good. Cut, chop, get rid of that. Jesus. I don't even want to see
Oh,
that.
that's
I'm
funny.
like, good Lord. And so editing is nice for your viewers sometimes, especially if you're doing
Yeah.
like a far away shot. And yeah, because I mean, it's a proven fact that crack kills. Let's
Yeah.
just stay away from that.
I find the
But yeah,
biggest problems I have is at the end of the video when I go to end the video and I've already done really good. I'm like, yeah, I feel great. And then I totally just sit there and go, what the hell? So I just like kind of pause for a minute and then I continue and then I edit it out. But yeah, that's like for me,
the
that's the
outro.
biggest one is the ending. I just have a brain fart.
Yeah, the intro is easy because you're starting off, you're all pumped, you're like, yeah, what's going on?
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Let's get this done. Yada
Uh-huh.
yada. And right now, you know what the worst part for me is? Is now I can pick up a camera, but I forget to until I've already got the job. Like I've got three or four videos right now uploaded, not uploaded, but started to edit, right? Of different things I've done. And
uh
I'm like one's an injection pump on an 8.3 liter Cummins.
Holy crap.
Okay. No big deal. Just I pulled it off. I did it, but I got down to the point where I'm like, okay, it needs an injection pump because of this. Done deal. I start taking it apart and I'm like, I better grab the camera. Oh my God. I didn't do anything. I didn't show anything prior. I've got an
Right.
engine that I'm doing in a stump grinder, a little Kubota engine. It's a 90 horse Kubota. I guess it's a big Kubota. We'll say that for 90 horsepower, but it's in a stump grinder. It needs a whole engine. I didn't get me cranking the crap out of it and it blowing sweet smoke rings, right? I had the head off and I'm like, oh, I should probably get the camera.
Oh, I hate that.
So I mean, it's tough, but I got to start remembering to do it. I've got a John Deere tractor right now, tore apart in the pole barn, and literally, it's literally all tore apart. The whole front end's tore apart. Zero footage
Oh,
of
that's
me taking it apart. So it's a tough thing for me to to really remember and be
right.
conscious of, because right now it's like it's new. It's, you know, I just went out on my own not that long ago, so it's like it's new. I want to get the job done. I want to be efficient at it. I want to make sure that I can bill 100% of the time, but yet at the same
Right.
time, what do I care if I do a video and at the end of the day I look and I'm like, dude, I spent like an hour. I know I spent an hour, which it may have been a half hour or whatever. It doesn't matter. I spent this much time making a video. I take that time off and we're good. Customer doesn't
Right.
pay for that. And I can figure that out myself, you know?
You know what
So
though?
it's
How much time do you actually spend? So like I just recently I got to edit one right now. I did just an evap, just an emissions repair.
okay.
Super simple repair, super common problem, right?
Yep.
But I really didn't spend much time doing the video. I in my shop time,
Yeah.
I didn't spend much time
Yep.
at all. You know, most of my time will be editing after the fact. Maybe I took 5 extra minutes explaining, you know, while I was doing it, or, you know, for you, maybe it's bigger stuff, but I mean,
Yeah, it
really,
doesn't.
it's like, in this whole interviewing process, when I was looking for a new shop, I actually would ask. It was kind of funny because I never thought I would be asking them, "Hey, how do you feel about YouTube? Like, how do you feel about like recording? Does that bother you?" And most
Yeah,
shops are like, "No, why would that bother us? Like, if you get your work done, I don't care what you do. You can call your
yeah,
wife 50, you can call your wife 50 times a day. It doesn't bother us, as long as you don't, do anything that causes any legal problems. But I mean, you're really not spending that much time, on the clock, so to speak. For you, not necessarily on the clock. For me, it's on the
yeah.
clock. It's the same thing though. Whether you're doing a job and it's billing a customer, me, it's under a time clock. You're really not spending that much time. Maybe you spent 5 minutes setting up a tripod and talking to the camera for a minute. But I mean, that's really it. I mean, most of
And
your other time is.
that was something that I did when I was starting it out. Is I talked to the people at the dealership where I was working, and they kind of did they have a problem with it? No, they just I just told them that I was doing it separate from work because I didn't actually I didn't know how they would feel about it. So I was like, I kept their name has never been mentioned on this channel.
Okay.
My previous employer has never been mentioned as anything on this channel. Could you have figured it out? Maybe if you knew if you were a direct customer of that shop, you would see the videos. You could come in and see me and know. But other than that, I kept it very vague of where I'm actually from,
Right.
um, and where I actually worked because I didn't, I just kept that separate. And customers' names, I try to keep them out of the videos so that way they don't get any weirdos like, nuts and bolts by Tone calling them up and saying, "Hey," but you know what I'm saying? Like there's some
Yeah.
weirdos out there, man. And it's all part of it. But
Yeah.
it is what it is, so
And I did the
try to
same thing.
keep
I
that.
I kept license plates out. I kept
Yep.
license plates out of videos. I never put a license plate in there. I never had a coworker in there because I didn't want,
Yep.
Joe Blow to come back and go, "Oh God, I saw you on YouTube and you put me on there and made me feel bad." No, this is my channel, my car. I'm talking,
Yeah.
you know, no
Yep.
customers' cars, no customer info, no nothing. So,
Yep. And there was that road grader I did the transmission on. I literally we had an upstairs locker room and
uh,
there was a stairway right next to the bay I was working in. I zip tied my tripod onto the beam up in the top and I took a time lapse photos
oh yeah,
and
okay,
time lapse the whole repair. It was 3 parts: pulling the trans, getting it down, and then on like break time or after work or before work, I'd come in and I'd do a quick like little part of it where I could actually talk to the camera and be like, "Hey, this is that." But it
right,
worked out good because my battery and my battery would last from morning till break time. And
okay.
then at break time, I'd switch my battery. And then at lunchtime, I would have to change my battery and SD card
Oh wow,
from all
okay,
the photos. So I was taking a lot of photos and I didn't really know how it all worked. And it was crazy.
right.
But so then I had to do a voiceover of the whole thing. Oh my God, it was
Wow.
wretched. But I zoned it in on just where my area was working. And I kind of told everybody that I was doing it. I'm like, hey, I'm just taking pictures of this for a time lapse. There's
Right.
no actual video. Nobody can hear anything. There's no whatever. So if somebody came walking through, it was zoned in where if they had to be within 2 feet of the machine in order to be seen on the camera. But the time lapse was so fast that it was like a flicker of a
Okay.
person. You would
Right.
never actually see the person's face or anything like that. So, and they were cool about that. The guys they were kind of freaked out at first. And I'm like, then I showed them what I was doing and they're like, oh, okay, cool. Some of the older guys, we'll put it that way,
Uh,
the ones within 5 years of retirement, put it that way. They were kind of like, "What are you doing? No, no. I don't want no part of that stuff." No, but it's all good.
I got to run get a charger for my laptop. We'll be right back.
All right.
But
He's getting pretty big, like 90,000. He's a Patriot. You can edit live stream afterwards. Not sure how it works. So yeah, I don't know how it works though either. But he's looking to have you on, Yoda. This is the best group of peeps. Absolutely. For sure. I'm gonna try to catch up. Good. I'm glad you started your Rumble account. That's good. Yeah, you're awesome. You're awesome. What's up, Florkin Life? How's the new JOB going? Budget tools. I'm pretty dumb here on the West Coast. Come on now. How's everything? Power Stroke Jude. I might actually try to catch up on comments now. We've been chatting for a while. Toledo, Ohio. Nice. You're just down the road. Just down the road, Tony. Yeah. Take some corn down there. That's for sure. Phil's jealous of Ohio. Yeah, for sure. Not really. Sounds like an awesome honeymoon to me. See, the wife always says that everybody in here, it's time for you to change your room. Everyone should be learning something every day. Absolutely. Absolutely, Power Stroke Jude. Yes. Okay. 10-4. Sorry about that. I was CNG on some trash trucks. Yeah, they're getting out there eating. Las Vegas. It looks like we lost him. Uh-oh. He should still have the link though. 100 Fahrenheit. What is that Celsius? I don't know. The video I just did, one try, upload it, no editing. I figured that's what. It was a great video, by the way, Diabolical. I watched it. I got like 99% through it. Phenomenal home setup, bud. Like, it is awesome. And you put a locker on that thing and another. Did you say you were going 84 next to the 60? Or is that a 60? I forget what it was. Plumber crack, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that stuff can't be unseen. Nope. Yeah, dude, start making videos. If you want, make them, upload them, put them on private or unlisted, and send one mechanic or me a link to it. And I'll look at it and tell you what I think. I've got no issue with that, bud. Like forgetting to film, yeah. I'll let you know. It's all good. See, you're back. It's all good. We'll let you back in. You can leave and come back.
Plug my laptop in before we start.
That's tough when you're at 2 hours and 18 minutes. Can you believe we've been talking for like 2 hours? There's not enough eye bleach in the world to fix that.
That's pretty cool, man.
We've been on for 2 hours and 18 minutes.
That's awesome. Hey, I've enjoyed it, man. You know what? My first live stream I tried to watch you on, you came on, you said, "I'm sorry, I don't feel well." And that was the first time I ever tried to watch you on a live stream. So I missed the first one.
Really?
It wasn't super long ago. But yeah, I'm pretty new to all of this as well, you know.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Country of origin is always the one. Always the older guys. Always. One of these days, I'll be a YouTuber and make videos.
There you go.
Everyday Fleet Tech. Come on now. You've been a YouTuber and made lots of videos. I can't believe I can't bring that up now. I'll have to bring it up in on Instagram. What you were talking about the other day. The heavy wrench tool. Thanks for helping me out a lot. I appreciate it. No big deal, man.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
seriously, just take it. Like I'm not even joking. If you wanted to send me an email of the link or on Instagram or however you got to do it, send me a link to the video that you uploaded and put it as private or put it as unlisted. Send it to me, one mechanic, whoever. It doesn't matter. Absolutely, send me a link. KE built it. We'll look at it and we'll give you serious feedback.
Yep.
I mean, I don't want anybody to feel or look stupid.
Nope.
I mean, I don't want anybody to feel or look stupid. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind making fun of somebody, like whatever. I mean, I don't mind making fun of somebody, but it's not like I'm going to intentionally do something like that,
The other thing I like to do, and I've done with my channel and my Instagram is I try to help people not fall on their face as I did, right? So I try to, if I know that I struggled really hard to get something or to learn something, I try to teach you, tell you about it, so that way you don't have to take that same struggle I did to learn that, right? You learn it from me and just say, cool, I have no idea the struggle that I'm avoiding by you telling me this. But I try to do that because that, it's like, hey, you all have to learn, but I want you to learn, stuff. I want you to avoid big pain in the asses that I've went through. And I'm sure all of us, the guys on here that are making videos, we don't want you to have to fall in those potholes of crap as we did.
So I've got a video that I posted on January 11th last year. It's 5 minutes and 50 seconds long. And it's how to hook up to a John Deere engine on an Atlas Copco genset. It only has 660 views, right? But it's got 41 likes and 12 comments.
Nice.
It's got one dislike. You know why I made that video? Because it took me 2 hours of reading in the book to find out how to do that. Do you know what I'm saying? How to hook to that thing with the John Deere. It's got a John Deere engine and a generator, right?
Uh-huh.
To figure out how to make John Deere Service Advisor, the software on the computer, hook to that engine took me like 2 hours of digging.
Jesus.
So I'm like, hey, I'm going to make a video on this. This is the buttons you have to hit. This is the whatever. Right. I threw it up there, and it was a selfish deal as well because I'm like, next time I have to hook to one of these things, I'm going to watch my own dang video and know how to do it.
You're going to teach yourself too, right?
Boom. I'm going to teach myself. That guy. The whole time sitting there saying, that guy right there, he's a good darn YouTuber right there. I'm a YouTube Academy veteran right here. I'm going to learn from him.
YouTube patch right there.
Yeah, he's the heavy wrench. He knows how to hook to this some gun. Someday I'll be cool like him. Yeah, Everyday Fleet Tech was the first channel I subbed to. One mechanic said that. That's kind of crazy. Right. I don't remember who the first channel I subscribed to was.
Me neither.
I found Everyday Fleet Tech from the Rust Belt Mechanic, though.
Oh, nice.
You drove 78 miles to switch airlines. That pays well.
Oh, my God.
And you asked him first. I drove in a snowstorm. Probably, let's see, I'm at exit. I bet you I drove 60, 70 miles like that in a snowstorm for a guy that had a machine that wouldn't start. I asked him if he checked the battery, if he tried to jump it. I went down in a snowstorm. We're talking 6-8 inches of snow, driving 20 miles an hour down the expressway.
Oh, God.
Like horrible weather, blizzard, right? I get all the way down there. I hop out of the machine or out of my truck, go over to the machine. I had a battery with me. throw my meter on it. Battery's 8 volts in the battery.
8 volts? Get out of here.
I'm like, okay, so
at 8 volts?
It wouldn't start it at 8 volts. I don't know what's going on, you know?
Weird.
I hook my jumper cables to it, get her fired up, instantly charging, like way overcharging. I'm like,
oh God,
you got a dead cell. Like this battery's junk, you know, it wouldn't even take, it was just crazy. So I'm like, okay, I pull the battery out, put the new battery in, check it, it's charging perfect, started fine. I mean, for what it was an older machine. But yeah, so I mean it was definitely one of those things, but I had to charge that guy. Oh my God. I think I charged him like $700
for a battery
to replace the battery because of the drive time. I mean, we're talking, I bet you I drove 4.5 hours that day for that thing to put a battery in a little backhoe.
And you can't even feel bad about that because you asked him, like, "Hey,
I'm like, dude, check the battery, make sure it's got something, make sure everything's cool." Like, I don't want to drive all the way down there. And I mean, I'm 35 miles north of Detroit, and he was probably he was at exit like 21 on north of, he was 21 miles north of Ohio. So it was a heck of a ride. I remember it was like, it took me forever. Like I needed to stop and get fuel in my truck on the way back because I was like, man, these roads are getting so bad. I don't want to get stuck on the side of the road and not have fuel to keep it running, you know?
Holy crap.
The Warm and Fuzzies by One Mechanic. Yeah, absolutely. Send me the link. Just send it to me, bud. I'll watch it. I mean,
hey, you know what? I'll say this. You will watch your first video or your first 10, and no matter what anybody says, you're going to say, "Oh my God." And then your next 10, 15, you're going to be like, "Yeah, I feel good." Take a break for 2 weeks and then come back in your first video, you're going to be like, "Oh my God. I feel like such an idiot. I look like such an idiot." But who cares? Like, I mean, you're not watching it because they, you know, I know for me, they're not watching it because they think I'm handsome. They're watching it because maybe I can fix cars, or they like how I talk about tools. You know what I mean? Now they have rent. That's handsome right there. But you know,
it's handsome. Yeah, I'm more of the red green of YouTube. If they can't find you handsome, they might as well find you handy. That's kind of where. Have you ever watched any red green?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Oh my gosh, Possum Lodge. Look up Red Green. It was a Canadian show. AgTech 45. Chime in on this one. Was it Canadian show? Red Green. But anyway, he uses duct tape to fix everything.
Oh, that's awesome right there.
And they have the Possum Lodge, which is their like I don't know what you'd call it. It's like a club or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, it's awesome.
That's cool.
But yeah, helping each other out, man. It's all about helping each other out. It's fun stuff. Oh, be careful. Red green is a rabbit hole. It will suck you in. And
so don't watch that if you have a video to edit.
Yes, you'll be. You will have an unedited video 3 hours later. I think it should be on, but it is. They're saying it is. Yep, for sure. But yeah, anybody that's starting out, if they do want to send me a video, I'll look at it. I got no issue with that. And I'll tell you straight up, I don't care. Yeah.
Hey, just be prepared for the one idiot out there. Like, I'm not even kidding. I made a video on my tool cart. And my tool cart, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I don't brag about anything. But my tool cart is kind of awesome because I've worked a really long time to get it there. But I had one guy, and this is the coolest thing in the world. I had one guy say, "Bro, clean your tools." And then I had like, I don't know, a couple people chime in and say, "Hey, dirty tools means you're using them." And I actually had multiple people make comments about people on YouTube that have these tools that are all nice and shiny and beautiful, and they don't use them, obviously. I do, but it was just you have to be careful. That, like he was talking about a minute ago about that one video where you had one dislike. Who the hell's going to dislike that video? If you watched it, you're not going to dislike it. Watch it or turn it off. You have to be prepared.
You know what the worst part is?
One dumbass. Just remember that.
But
no matter what you do.
Here's the funniest thing about dislikes. Okay.
Thanks, Ag Tech. You're sexy too, baby.
Dislikes are still, YouTube cares about feedback, and they care about interaction with people, right?
Yes.
They want you to click something. So do you know, in YouTube's eyes, a like or a dislike are equal?
Right.
Your video
with the audience
is still, you're still engaged. You're still doing something. You have made that person click something. And that's what they're looking for, is like, hey, this guy can really make somebody click something. And I think there's some with these bigger channels. I think there's more to it, which I'll never find out because I'll probably never be a huge channel. But if it is, I'll let you know if they're getting like,
well, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Kickbacks, like, hey, once you hit this number and you can really make people like, I think it's a manipulation game, really. That's what they're looking for, is like the people that they can sell your content to, like I think it's the ad revenue type of thing, where they're like, hey, this person gets like a lot of clicks of engagement. So if you're in their video, they can, their people like to click where these people don't,
Yeah. You know what else works really good is having boobs.
Oh yeah.
And cars on YouTube. If you have boobs and cars on YouTube, like, you don't even know what you're talking about, and your tools suck, and you have 10 times the viewers of the person who has good tools and knows what they're talking about.
That's the worst part. Thing. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's dude, it's like, my perfect example is Whistling Diesel, right? Have you ever watched any of his stuff?
No, I heard you say that. I think it was last week.
Whistling Diesel
talked about it. I haven't had a chance. I've been busy with the job thing, but yeah.
He is pure entertainment to me. And everybody gives him crap, and he doesn't care. He's perfectly okay with it. But he literally purposely wrecks vehicles.
Oh, that's awesome.
This dude is like crushing it on. He bought an R8, and
a Mazda?
He hit it. I don't know, whatever, an R8. An Audi. Audi.
Oh, an Audi. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he bought an Audi. Whatever. He hit a Fox with it, right? And one of the videos, he's taking a claw hammer to the front of it to try to reroute the coolers to like drive it more, right?
What the hell?
Literally taking a claw hammer to the front of this car because it was hit by a Fox, so the front end was already. But he's literally just smashing it, or he'll take. What was the last thing there was something else he just totally. A Jeep. He took a newer Jeep and had a big silo, winched it up as high as it was, and then let the silo fall on it.
What the hell? Oh my God.
He literally wrecks all these vehicles. He took a Duramax and literally tore it apart. A brand new like a super. He's done all these crazy things where he just wrecks vehicles, and it's entertaining. It's entertaining. But at the same time, like, you're trying to be a legitimate channel where you're like, hey, these are the tools I use as my profession, this and that. And you're like, and YouTube's like, yeah, here's a couple peanuts, bud. Good job. And this guy's out there, they're just like sharing the crap out of it, right?
Wow.
And I'm like, it is what it is, but
that's crazy, man.
Red Green is Canadian. Custom 13 chiming in. There's a Canadian fella that we like. Red Green rules. Red Green is on YouTube. Red Green Show. If you don't find me handsome, you'll find me handy. Yep, there it is. That's what I was quoting right there. And that's pretty much I I really, and maybe that's kind of a slap in the face, but that may be the community slogan. If you can't find us handsome, you sure will find us handy.
That's right. That's right.
That
And you know what?
our,
When you're stranded, you're going to be calling us first. Right?
Yeah. We may not be we may be the ugliest knight in shining armor that you'll ever see coming down the road.
That's right, because you're not going to be going down the road without us.
Seriously, he had to break off the little tab to put him on backwards every time. Yeah. Yep. Awesome.
There's a special kind of someone everywhere.
Thank you, John. Merry Christmas to you and your
Thank
family.
you,
and you have a very, very good one. It's been
Thank
a
you for
very
the
tough
comment,
one.
Occupant. That was nice earlier.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Occupant is.
He said,
so
thanks for
John
having me
Russo.
on. So I appreciate the comment.
Yeah, I mean it's good. I mean we're doing. I have a red green on beta. Yeah, red green on beta. Yeah, it's an older show, man. It's not. But I used to watch it because in Michigan we are very close to Canada. I mean we are.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I actually live north of Canada, just so you know, in Michigan.
Oh.
So Windsor and Michigan, Windsor kind of comes underneath of Michigan over in the far part of it. So we're north of Canada.
Oh,
it's a claim to fame. Claim to fame. That's really
my wife's family is in Ottawa. So not that whole thing, but not super far away. So
you're over on it's on the west side. Or the east side, yeah. So you're further
over towards New York.
New York, yeah.
Yeah.
See, we're actually Ontario is the closest one to us. So
yeah.
But yeah, I used to go there all the time. Like it's literally 30 minutes I can be in Canada.
Oh wow.
Well, I used to back when I was 19. Because the legal age for drinking in Canada, whether you're a citizen or not, is 19.
It is. You're right.
And there used to be these clubs, we'll call them, that we used to frequent all the time at the age of 19. Yeah, I hope 2021 is better for everyone. That's the truth.
You know what? I saw a meme earlier today. It said if you thought 2020 was bad, wait till we hit 21 and they start drinking.
That's even better.
I wish I could throw the meme up on the screen. It would make everyone just start dying laughing right now, sitting at their computer.
Oh my god!
Just falling out of their chair. It was pretty damn funny. I suck at
awesome.
I could watch a joke and tell it, and it wouldn't be funny. I suck at that, but it was really damn funny when I saw it earlier. It was one of the funniest 2021 memes I've ever seen.
I think it's
through
great.
This whole thing. So
yeah.
Hey, you know what? Thankfully, we still got heavy equipment breaking, and we still got cars and trucks breaking, and we are in a industry that maybe it's not thriving as it was a year ago, 2 years ago. But hey, shit still breaks, right?
So the tough part is like when all this stuff happened, right? Like with what's going on in 2020 and all this stuff. I told my son, he's 13, right? And I have a 13-year-old and a 5-year-old. I told the 13-year-old when we were talking about jobs he could do and this and that. I'm like, hey, bud, try to figure out who's going to work right now and who's sitting at home. Essential means something, right? Like find yourself one of those jobs that no matter what's going on, you're needed.
Yeah.
And you will always have a job, Like these actors and actresses in NBA and NFL and all this stuff, right? All these people that are in entertainment, right?
Yeah.
They nobody needs them.
No, not
but
right now.
You know what they need? You know what they need? A guy like you fixing their car.
That's right.
A guy like me that's going to help build a road, right?
Absolutely.
Those are things that we need. We don't need all this flair and fancy and You know what I mean? Like, I mean, yeah, that's needed, but it's not essential, right? Like,
Oh,
look at all those people that got sent home just
yeah.
because they got literally told your job doesn't matter to this country. Go home.
Yeah, that's sad. That is sad.
Could you imagine being told that? Like
No,
that would be literally I, I don't I don't know how I would handle that.
I
Like
don't either.
as a person being told that, like, whoa, man, like I really don't matter to this world, right? Like, and
Yeah.
holy cow, that's huge. But like guys like us, I don't think anybody in here was really sent home as like the your job doesn't matter. You know, you got
No.
people like D73 working for a construction company. I believe he works for a construction company as a field service guy. You know, like I don't think he was affected by it too much, you know, like whistling diesel is crazy, that's for sure. Um it's
What we need to
just
do is I need to bring cars from California out to
yeah.
Michigan, and we'll
Oh
crush
yeah.
them suckers, right?
Yeah,
With
oh
a
yeah.
big heavy machine, on the heavy tone,
We
the heavy
we
tone
definitely
show,
could.
right?
We could heavy tone.
We just
The
have to
heavy
have
tone.
somebody that does the driving back and forth because it would cost too much to have me drive it back and forth, right?
Yeah,
So I'll get
diabolical.
the
I think
cars.
it's halfway. I think
Yeah,
diabolical's halfway in between us.
there we go. There we
Maybe
go.
he could go pick them up from you,
Right.
get them halfway, and then deliver them out here, and then
Yeah.
go back. I mean, it's pretty. That might work. You never know. We
Yeah.
might be able
We'll
to
have
work
Power
something out
Stroke
here.
Dude find us some 6 liters that need crushing,
Oh
right?
God, I couldn't do that. If I had it, do you know what I could do with cars from like Georgia and California and Michigan? Do you know how much money they're worth? No, let's take the cars and trucks from Michigan and crush them because them are the ones that are junk, like straight up junk. No rust holes through the boxes. Like flatbeds are popular in Michigan because the box falls off the truck. Literally, they rot so bad the bed sides just kind of fall down and they crimp your filler neck hose
Hey,
because they're
the
sagging so
first shop
bad.
I ever worked at when I was in school. The reason that the guy lived in California was because he used to live in Michigan. And one day he came home and he told his wife, I am so tired of big blocks of ice falling on my face that I don't want to do it anymore. And they moved to California and they bought a service station. And then eventually they ended up with a big garage. That was actually the reason why they moved was he was tired of dealing with the big blocks of snow and the ice and all
Yeah.
that crap, having to deal with that whole, snow effect.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. Ottawa's less than 5 hours away from Custom 13.
Okay, nice, nice.
Hey, Tone and Phil, I want to start doing live streams in the new year. Would you two have some first be some? Yeah, absolutely. Let me know.
Absolutely.
Just send it out, bud. Let me know.
For sure, man.
Will these clubs have? I will
Whoa,
say it.
whoa.
I will say it like this. Oui. Because sometimes over there in Sarnia and Windsor, a couple of cities that I frequently acquainted to, more Sarnia. Sarnia was like the place, man. I'm telling you, Sarnia, Canada is like, man, I was like 19. There was actually this place called Riverport Tavern. It was a tavern, mind you. It was a tavern. If you look up their ad, Riverport Tavern in Sarnia, Canada. Also, there was this studio over there that we used to go to. That was a studio. Very, I mean, it was top-notch stuff going on there. And that was back when you could take 20 American dollars and they would give you like 45 Canadian dollars.
Hey.
And you'd feel like you were a rich man. I'll never forget the first time we had to get gas over there. They were called clubs, the Canadian Ballet. Yes. We don't have ballet clubs in Saskatchewan. What? That's a horrible part of Canada to live in. I have a 33 and 32-year-old. You have one in Regina, AgTech. Merry Christmas, Dave. Thank you.
Good night, one mechanic.
You too, Dave. Good night, Dave. But yeah, it's alcohol is free in it though. Alcohol free. Oh yeah. They never had those over there. It was all good times. Ridiculous. But yeah, we used to have a lot of good times over there. Good night. Nobody stops using roads.
Very
yeah, that's
true,
the thing.
right there.
That's
Very
it.
true. Look at all the right now. Look at everything. It's like you can rent a movie at home. Like they're still kind of making movies. Maybe I'm not real sure.
I don't
and you
even
can
know.
rent it for hardly nothing. I don't know. I'm not a movie. I'll watch it at home. And we don't go to the movies. It costs too damn much.
It's not. Yeah, it's not really. We go to the movies every now and again, but we haven't in a long time.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all crazy, man. It's nuts.
Crazy.
Good night, Gabe. Catch you tomorrow.
Yep, same here.
It's horrible. I sent you the meme. Oh, you sent me the meme. We'll see. Oh boy. These guys that I don't know if I can get it to come up. Probably not.
No, it's not showing.
No, it's not going to show. But yes, it is. It is pretty funny. Seriously, Turbo Tai is putting filters on us. I
can only imagine.
Let me turn this around and see if it's. We're wearing. I'll send it to you on Instagram. We're wearing like elf hats, and we look like elves.
Oh my god, that's funny.
I'm gonna try.
I follow him on Instagram. We're constantly going back and forth on Instagram. I am gonna
upload those on as a thumbnail. That's gonna be the thumbnail for this one.
Hey, I want to say thank you to everyone that has tuned in tonight. Thank you for all the love. There's been a lot of love. This is my first live stream. I'm pretty excited. When Rentier messaged me earlier about the live stream, I text my wife. I'm like, "Hey, you got to figure out dinner. Sorry, I'm going live." Pretty excited, and this is pretty awesome to be in this community and to have all the love and to share all of everything that we have. But we talked about earlier with the heavy equipment and the gas, light duty diesel. It's all wrenches in the end, right? All nuts and bolts, right?
It's all junk when it's broke.
That's right. It's all nuts and bolts, man. In the end,
everybody brings you a piece of crap and wants it fixed, right?
That's right.
And that's self-proclaimed because I've never had a machine that people were like, "Man, this machine's so great. Oh, it's great." No, it's broke, and I'm here to fix it. And they're like,
"That's right,
run it." Like they don't care. It's Diabolical is halfway between us, just so you know.
Nice. Well, pit stop for beers at Diabolical.
Yeah.
There's our new shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here we go. I don't need to work for the man out here, and we'll just do this. We just need you guys to support us. You know what I mean? You guys gotta. We'll make a show. You guys keep us in business.
Granby. Yeah.
It is. It is very nice.
I don't know. That's cool.
Yeah.
I got so many. That's the crazy part. Is the meme is funny.
I can't wait to see it. Come by on mine next year. Hey, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here, man. We're good, man. Just send us stuff.
Yeah. Hey, I thought about going live once in a while.
You
I was
should.
like, I don't know. It's kind of nervous, you know.
It's all junk. That's why we have jobs.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, repair
Hey,
guys
thankfully
never
the
stop.
manufacturers built it to break it, right?
What's that?
I said, thankfully the manufacturers build it to break.
Well, that's the thing, it's tough because like we are in the repair industry, and that's the type of person that it doesn't matter what the economy does, right? It doesn't matter if the economy is great or the economy is poor. It doesn't matter.
No,
People always need things repaired.
that's right.
Like if the economy is great, yeah, there's more of a replacement mentality to it, but there's still repair that needs to be done.
Absolutely.
So it does. So it doesn't matter. We're
Nope.
still going to be busy. It doesn't matter. And that's what I was talking to my wife about, about this new venture of a new business, right? It's scary with what's going to happen with the economy and stuff like that, right? Whenever things change, there's good and there's bad, right? It doesn't matter what way everything goes. It doesn't matter. But I told her, I'm like, if I keep my inputs or my expenses realistic,
Right.
we're going to be okay no matter what. Like there's a lot of things that could be really, really good coming out of this, with the economy. We could step up and see some great repair things happening because maybe people won't want to buy new. Maybe people will want to buy used equipment wise,
Right.
people might not, I don't know what's going to happen. You never know. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter. And like I said, I feel like 2021 is going to be a great year for a lot of things. In my own opinion, I feel like 2020 has been a good year to me. I wouldn't be on my own, owning my own business, if it wasn't for 2020. It pushed me in this direction, and
Well, that's good.
life has a funny way of pushing you.
Everything happens for a reason, man.
It
You just
does.
don't know what the
It
reason
does.
is.
Yeah, if not busier, everybody's been busy. Yeah, it doesn't.
Not out here. Not out here.
The ag industry is crazy. Yeah, start doing live streams. Live streams are cool. They're fun, like
Wow, that's crazy. Not in California, that's for sure.
No, have you guys been okay, or has it been slow?
Oh no, it hit us hard. This whole
Did
thing
it?
is, yeah. I mean, a lot of our work is preventative maintenance.
Yeah.
We make money on preventative maintenance. We make money on, like you should fix this because it's going to break. It's like, did it break? Nope. Okay, cool. I'm out. And that's kind of the car, light truck industry. Is a lot of preventing that whole thing, and it really hit hard. I mean, this year has been very difficult. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, it has really
Yeah, I
been.
guess
And it's a completely different animal from what you work on. Because what you work on, I don't know what preventative maintenance is like, but I would imagine it's like oil changes and either my shit broke or it didn't break.
to a certain extent. There's a lot of things that you look at differently, but it's the same stuff. I mean, oil changes, yeah. Every 500 hours. So 500 hours on a machine is basically 10 weeks. Every 10 weeks, you're doing an oil change. So you should be looking at it every 10 weeks. You should be seeing that machine. When stuff starts wearing out, like in Michigan, though, we have a problem because we're in a state that has a season. Construction season is spring to winter.
Right.
Not much construction going on right now here.
Yeah.
The ground is frozen. It's wet and frozen. It's not good to build things on wet and frozen ground.
Right.
You're not doing that. You're getting, there's some construction, don't get me wrong, But at the same time, there's not hot and heavy. Not everybody's out there trying to work 10, 12 hours a day. Like they'll run 12, 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, all summer long here. I had some buddies that moved down to Florida, and they work for the same company up here in Michigan as they did in Florida. And they're like, they went down there and they were a foreman, and they're like, why are these guys not like, they want to go home? Like, dude, this is the time to make money. Like, we need to make some money because we get laid off in the winter, you know, like,
right.
Like, we need to make some money. Let's do this. And
such thing as winter.
He's like, they're down in Florida. The ground doesn't.
Oh, hell no.
Like, they can keep going all year. So they just keep this pace and they just go all year at the same pace. And he's like, it's so different because Michigan, we're like, you know, we hop on that bull, tie ourselves on, and we ride it for the whole season. And then when it's done, we hop off and take a break. You know, there's a lot of operators and stuff that take breaks. And like, people think that, oh, it's construction equipment. Michigan has a season that's spring to fall to winter. You're really not, you know, doing much in the winter. Well, now's the time where they want you to look at everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, hey, boys.
Oh, to keep it going.
We need 4 to 5 months of this thing running wide open all day. Mm-hmm. What do we got to do to make this thing run? Like, keep her going full steam ahead all summer long. Right. And that's where we really get into a lot of our repairs, is saying, hey, this is not going to last you 6 months of hardcore shit, you know, right? Because that's what they do. They run them hard. And some, you know, and it is what it is. Because
you lose a whole season, you have to.
Yeah, you could, and that's the scary part. So it's.
I mean, in Florida, hell, they're in Florida. It's like they're like probably like starting early, quitting late, quitting early. You know, because it's hot in the summertime. Whereas you guys would be like, oh, it's humid as shit, but like we're working because we only work, 3 out of 4 seasons.
Yeah, that's the tough part. Like, I mean, there's guys still. Like, there's still guys working, but right now it's not like it's tough to do things right now in the winter. You know, you're not doing a finished grade on a house right now. If it's frozen, you can't spread topsoil. You can't, you can put some stone down on a driveway or whatever, but you're not really running those machines that much. So it's kind of the same type of deal. Let's see, what's Dano right about? Kentucky Tech, welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you're on here. A lot of new businesses opening. Yeah, work has been good. It can't be any worse than across the border at Laredo for the. Oh boy, I can't even handle that one, Brian.
Backward mechanic.
Backwoods mechanic is very entertaining. He does a lot of different things. Backwoods correction there. Indeed, it's been super slow. KE Built It says it's been super slow. He's in California as well. I don't know if that's true or not. Yeah, I hope it gets better for you, Tone. That's the thing. Like, I don't want to see anybody having tough times right now either, you know? I mean,
the fortunate thing for me is that, I went to school like 16 years ago, and I did what I was taught was to get everything you can. And I actually just made a video about this, and it was because of my job search, which triggered that video, was getting every license, every certification. Yeah. But also actually learning how to fix cars. But those things that when you go to talk to a guy, right, it doesn't matter who it is. I don't give a crap who it is. Yeah. Independent shop, Ford fleet guy, it doesn't matter. Here's what I got. Here's what I can do. Okay, cool. Well, we want you to come work for us because you have all of this. And then from there, it's like, well, can you really actually do what you say you can do? But get all those licenses, get all those certifications, get everything you can, so that way, if Heavy Wrench is the owner, right? I walk in, I show him my stuff. He's like, Okay, cool. Well, all right, you're hired.
Yeah.
You can do it or you can't.
Yep. Yeah, you got 90 days to prove that you aren't.
Right.
Give yourself a pat on the back.
That's kind of the benefit for me is that, anytime I walk into a business, whether it's good or bad, all I have to do is show them, and then it's like, okay, cool, we want you. So that's kind of with it being slow, it's kind of the bummer, but kind of the good thing,
It's not it all cycles, I mean,
it does.
life's a cycle. Out of every bad time comes a great time for somebody, like it's embrace the suck, I guess is what a bunch of my buddies always say.
Very true.
I have a lot of friends that were in the military, so they always, embrace the suck is their best term. And it's like, okay, yeah, you just got to endure this, and next chance we get, we're going to be fine. It's going to be good. As soon as the frost laws are over, frost laws. Tone's probably never heard of frost laws.
No, what is that?
What happens in Michigan and the colder states, whatever, we get frost. So when it freezes, frost builds ice in the ground 6, 8, 10 inches deep, 12 inches deep of frost, 2 foot, whatever it is. That's why our water pipes have to be dug deep or whatever. Okay. So frost is actually frozen dirt, and it gets to be sometimes 6, 8, 10, 12 inches deep, whatever it may be. Well, when that frost, when it starts to thaw, it actually forces the moisture out of the ground. So it makes every road with heavy loads kind of like floaty, you know what I mean? Like it's soft and hard, and so you can break a lot of the asphalt. So what they do is they cut the weight of all the semis in Michigan, and there's no heavy loads. There's no, you only have so much percentage of your axle weight that you can actually haul with trucks.
Oh, wow.
So everything has to be way more axles, way more tires on the ground to spread out the weight more so you don't blow apart the roads. That's why Michigan roads are so horrible anyway, but whatever. So it's a frost law, and that's what they call it. And as soon as they get lifted where they're like, okay, you can haul whatever you want now, back to your legal limit of what you can haul, that's when the season kicks off and then construction's in full blow.
Oh, that makes sense.
So it's as soon as spring hits and that frost law is over, it's just a time to wait for the ground to re-neutralize itself.
Okay.
It's full steam ahead. Because our semis out here, I think it's 160 or 180,000 pounds is what a semi can pull legally, and be good to go. Everywhere else in the country is pretty much 80,000 on a semi, and that's as much as you can get for a total weight. In Michigan, we just put more axles underneath of our trailers and go up to 160,000. We don't even care. It's crazy. We're legally I think it's 13 axles get you 160,000 pounds of load. So it works out pretty good.
General.
It's my wife just told me it's 20,000 in California.
I mean,
per axle.
Per axle, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Per axle.
That gets you 80,000.
End of one axle.
No, the end of one axle shall not exceed 10.5.
Oh, 10.5 per axle.
I don't know. Hang on.
I don't know. She's not
it's
sure.
Like, so a regular tractor trailer.
What?
I think a regular tractor trailer is 80,000.
Oh, okay. I said semi.
Semi, yeah. Whatever. Semi.
Oh, semi thing. I don't know.
Yeah, same thing. But yeah, we're allowed 160,000, I think, or 180.
Wow.
180,000, and that was because of Detroit and the steel mills is why they let us go so heavy. But there's 13 axles rolling down the road everywhere around Michigan.
Holy crap.
13 axles.
1,000 pounds.
Yeah, two. Maybe one more.
I play upstairs every other week. Yeah. He gets on a lot of gen sets and different light towers and stuff too. Custom 13 does. Upselling is down in Indiana on commercials truck side. I would have to say Siri was great. Your Siri was great.
What's up, Joey? How's it going, brother? Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. Has Joey been on here before? I don't know. He might be new.
I've never seen him on here before.
We might be new. Well, welcome, Joey. Yeah, Glams and they'll keep up with the road either. Yep. Frost line in Canada is 4 feet. They got 4 foot up there.
Be right back.
All right. Jude, that's true. Hits logging in Michigan, yes. 70,000 to 80,000 pounds total. Yep. Gravel trains too. Mm-hmm. Yep, 80,000. Yes. Coils, yep. Yeah, the coils. Yeah, it's crazy. I should just look it up. See what the heck it is. I think it's 160. But I can't be for sure. Let's see here. Maybe I can do it on this screen. But yeah. Oh, Joey sent there you go. That's what I was trying to put the name together of why I've heard it before. And Joey sent you the hat. That's awesome. Well, I'll have to see if I forgot if you said if you had a channel. But yeah, I read that how often do I use my 3/4 tech angle? Whenever I need the 3/4 torque wrench now. It's not that often, Kentucky Tech. It's kind of one of those it's one of those things that I use it when I need to. And I sold my actual click type to a guy I worked with when I bought this one because it was kind of like the upgrade. I didn't need it. And looking back, I probably should have never sold that 3/4 torque wrench. But it is what it is. Watch, my internet will shut down or something now. But my 3/4 tech angle, I've used it on a lot of engine work, actually. That's where I use it the most. It goes up to 600 foot-pounds. It says 164,000 gross. Yes. Must have 11 axles. I'm sorry. It's 11 axles, and it's 164,000. But you can get a 180,000 pound plate for them. So we can haul over double of what the federal law is of 80,000 pounds. It's crazy. But back to this one. 3/4 tech angle. I've used it on a lot of head bolts now. Having it is nice. But it's not necessary. We'll put it that way. But like when you hit something over 300 foot-pounds, I don't know what is the power strokes. No, power stroke. Jude did it with a 1/2 inch. So I don't think he needs more than a 1/2 inch for that one. But some of the bigger engines, they're doing even the smaller 4-cylinders. It's you do a certain torque and then you angle it afterwards, and it's tough to get that with a regular 300 foot-pound torque wrench.
Yes.
You're going sometimes 450, 500 on some head bolts, and to get the stretch. And that's why I bought the 300 foot-pound, but it didn't get me to a Perkins. The one Perkins I was working on, I needed that one. I just picked up the 1/2 inch tech angle from a Snap-on. $250 for mine. Yeah, tech angle. Yeah, it's sweet. I love the 3/4 tech angle, but I'm going to tell you this. I did not walk on the Snap-on truck and buy it. I bought it off Craigslist.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I use it for everything, though. 12, 34. Yeah, 12, 34, 34 is a typical 5-axle semi. Yes. There you go. 12,000, 34, 34 back on the back, too. But yeah, so 80,000. That's the there we go. So yeah, it's the torque wrenches. I love them. I mean, I got all tech angles now, except for my inch pound. But
I don't own a tech angle.
It's something that the equipment manufacturers have been going more to the torque plus angle. So they're kind of pushing you that direction. It's no different than your triple squares, right? We all had to find triple squares by the end of the year,
I have a half inch. My torque wrench, my biggest torque wrench is a half inch snap-on tech. Oh, I guess angle torque wrench. I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. The angle.
I bought it. I got lucky though. So along the first 6-liter I ever worked on, I torqued that with just a straight up regular click style torque wrench.
Yep.
And that was awful. And I had to have my service writer stand on the floor so I didn't slide across the floor trying to torque it. Right. But anyway, so I bought my last one was a half inch. I don't know. It's probably like 2 feet long, half inch, torque angle torque wrench. And I got lucky because the 6.7 Cummins I told you about that needed the whole exhaust. I literally had just bought that torque wrench and I had to torque that head. So I got lucky that I got to use a really nice torque wrench to torque a head. And it actually wasn't too bad. And it had the angle on it. Oh, and the guy had ARP studs.
Okay.
So he had because that was what the whole thing started with was he had slowly replaced his head bolts with ARP studs. And I'm like, what about your head gasket? Well, I just replaced them one at a time. Well, yeah, but you still have a head gasket in there that has to be torqued. So, yeah. So I got lucky with that one. But
it's horrible. Yeah, the guys that do that stuff, it's crazy. I have the 3/8 tech angle. I love it. But every time I think about how much I paid, don't ever think about how much you've spent on tools. That should be another heavy wrench rule.
No.
Don't ever think about it. Just do it.
Especially if it's something, and don't tell your wife. Ever.
That's my biggest fear. Is when I'm gone, my wife sells my tools for what she actually thinks I put into them.
Oh God. The other day, I mentioned to my wife the other day about something that I bought. I don't remember how much it cost, but it was pretty expensive. One tool. And she was like, oh my God, you spent that much on a tool? I was like, I spend that much on tools quite often. I just pay them every week. Like, you don't understand. This isn't like my wife's a teacher. So, you buy pencils and rulers and stuff, right? It's a little bit cheaper. But so that whole don't ever tell your wife how much you spent on a tool.
Yeah,
okay, what your tool bill is, that's a different story. But how much you spent on one tool, don't tell her. How much that torque wrench costs, don't tell her how much that torque wrench costs.
No.
That right there is your weekend just went to crap right there. Don't say it.
Yeah, well, it's tough because I actually told her about that torque wrench when I found it on Craigslist.
Good night, Lucas.
Yep. Good night, Lucas. You'll need it. It's crazy. You need it. I'm thinking about giving or trade it for something. Don't know yet. Yeah, man. They make one too.
Be careful though. Be careful. Be careful with the torque wrench. That's all I got to tell you.
Yeah.
Make sure. All I will say is this: I know that there are a lot of companies out there. There's Olsa. There's Capri. There's all these companies on Instagram. Be really careful when you buy a torque wrench, where you buy it from, to make damn sure that it is of the quality it should be, because that is a really big gamble. And that's just my opinion. I don't mind buying wrenches from different companies, but a torque wrench, especially when you talk about an angle torque wrench, be really, really careful where you're buying that tool from, because you really don't know until it fails.
Their
If you bought to go, and I don't know what your take is on it, but
it's the same thing.
Me personally, I don't want to have to deal with it twice.
If it's a precision measurement that you have to make, I am all for getting a precision tool. That's it. I'm one of those guys that's outwardly doesn't look as OCD as I am, but when it comes to torquing something, it's either right or it's wrong. That's the way I you know, my toolbox may look like a mess. My area may not be sorted the way you think it should be sorted, but to me, it's in an order, and I have a method to my madness, and that's exactly the way it is. But like you said, and I don't mind having a torque wrench that's not a snap-on or not a Mac or not a Mac or an Olsa torque wrench is fine. But like you said, I have to put some trust out there, and it's trust of my rework, right? So when you torque that head and that torque wrench screws you, who's going to pay for that, right? You are, not
exactly.
And it's how much you're willing to gamble. And like you said, that 3/4 tack angle, I bought it used, and I had it certified.
There you go.
Because I don't know who had that. I bought it off some guy on Craigslist.
That's like new right there.
Send it out to Snap-on. They come back, certification papers. Hey, I'll trust that baby every time now. No big deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
And having your torque wrenches checked periodically is a good thing, right?
No, it's not. No, it's not, because then you have to buy a new torque wrench when they tell you your 3/8 one was bad, because that's what happened to me.
Oh boy.
So it's good and bad. It's good and bad. It's good because I don't get that crap. Why'd that gasket fail? I don't understand. But it's bad when the Snap-on guy tells you you need a new torque wrench, and you're like, damn it.
Yeah.
Because that's a true story that actually really happened.
Really?
I don't know why I went on the truck that day. Hey, check my torque wrench. Oh, really? Oh, crap. Okay. $600 later, you know.
Yeah, it's horrible. CP, you're not late. Well, I guess you are a little late. We've been on here for over 3 hours.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know if tools are your livelihood, make you money. Don't be ashamed of the price. Absolutely.
Oh, I don't tell your wife the price. That's all. I don't think any of us have a problem with the price.
Yeah. Tony, what's up? CP, nice to see you tonight. It is great to have him here. I'm just glad he got here. I was in his live stream last night for a while, and then it's like the tough part is it's Friday night, so I kind of got to have some I got to make sure I do some stuff so tonight I can take the time and be gone.
I do, dude. I do.
It's crazy.
And I logged on to CP's last night. I logged on, said what's up. Everybody said what's up. And then my son was like, oh, I want to replace my battery. And so I had to go out and deal with his car. And then I was out there the whole damn night because the battery cable was messed up. And yeah, you know, it never ends, right?
It never ends. It's always the same.
Mine's 18, not 13. So, you know, a little different.
You're always needed.
Always. And, you know, he's 18. He just bought his first car. He saved up some money, bought himself I think a 2010 Infiniti G37. That's what he dreams. And so luckily he knows that he has an Infiniti G37 price tag.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has a free mechanic, but a G37 price tag, you know.
Yeah, that's tough.
It is tough. It is tough.
It's tough. I think of getting one just on the Olsa website today. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Olsa. I really like their
Olsa tool.
I really liked their foam kneeling pad. That was pretty good. They sent me that a while ago, and their players racks are pretty nice.
I have their plier racks. Their plier
Yeah.
racks are actually really awesome.
Yeah, they're
I have
nice.
them in 2 drawers of my cart, actually. 2
Yeah.
separate drawers.
Working at the shop, he's really just hanging out on light duty. Phil told him how much my 4-angle inch and 3/8 wrench cost. Yeah, that's a people that yeah. Neither does Matco. Snap on tech angle for the win. Absolutely.
Yeah, same here.
Don't go
Mine is
cheap with
Snap-on.
technical tools
And I don't think I would
Snap-on
trust anything but my Snap-on one.
for the expense.
For the
That's
tech,
tough
the
part.
angle.
But it's all in what you're doing, like that's really what it boils down to.
Well, for me, it's head bolts. Head bolts are head bolts or any sort of a crank, any sort of a head bolt or crank bolt.
And let's be honest, you're aluminum heads most of the time now, right?
No, in
60%?
between.
60% aluminum?
Yeah, maybe 50, 60%. Because I still work on older stuff.
Yeah, but so 60% aluminum heads.
Yeah.
How accurate do you want to be with an aluminum head? 60% of the time, you need to be pink precise.
Well,
right?
Yeah.
Aluminum head will warp.
Aluminum
head will warp like crazy. Older cast iron head. You got some rigid. It's
you have all kinds of forgiveness right there. You could just over torque the crap out of it, and you'll be fine.
I mean, shit. I've seen a 350 Chevy torqued with a 1/2-inch Ugga Dugga. You can just Ugga Dugga them old 350s together, and they'd still run.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't matter what you do. When you get them hot, they blow the head gasket between the center 2 cylinders. It don't matter. It's all good. And then you just Ugga Dugga a new one on there, and you're good. It's even worse when the wife is a technician too, and she spends as much money and knows. Yes, John, I do have to say that would be a rough one.
That would really be a rough one right there. You can't even bullshit your way through that one.
No. When she's like, "Oh, you just bought that? That's nice."
The good thing about for us,
I bought the set, honey. That's what she'd say. I bought the set. Oh, you just bought the one wrench? I bought the set. I'm sorry.
The one good thing for us though, I just told a coworker the other day, we don't pay interest, so no bill comes home. So thank God for that, because it is just a weekly payment, and there is no monthly bill coming through showing you paid, X amount of dollars for X amount of tools or whatever, for one tool.
Yeah, this is what Brian said that he said that on the last live stream or something. If he gets a deal on a tool,
I heard
the difference. I think I don't ever want my wife to hear that.
I don't understand that.
I hope she doesn't watch this. Like, that's what I'm hoping. Yeah, I don't understand that either. Like, there's some third parties.
Hey, you know what? I will say this about a torque wrench. You know what? I'm not saying that the Olsa torque wrench is bad. I'm not saying a Capri or any other. I mean, Sunex tools. I use their wobble sockets all day. But their torque wrench. Would I use their torque wrench and torque heads? No, I would not. If I was a DIY guy, maybe. But I am a professional guy. I will use the Sunex tools wobble sockets all day long. I would not pick up their angle torque wrench if they make one. I don't know. And torque heads on anything, because I can't take that chance. Yeah. I know the Snap-on one is going to be right, and I know I'm going to use it a lot, and it's going to be right a lot of the time, and I can't take that chance. Same with you, right? You're not going to take that chance with that really important, I mean, how much money is it going to cost you and the company, or, even if you weren't working on your own, right? How much is it going to cost the company when that crank or that head or whatever takes a shit, wasn't torqued right, that stretch bolt didn't stretch right? You're just not going to take that chance.
It's not
to do
it's
that
not worth
kind
it.
of thing.
The risk is not worth the reward. You know
Absolutely
what I mean?
not.
I mean, it's stepping over dollars to pick up dimes at that point, you know.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And it's just not worth it. And is the 300 foot-pound is the tech angle over the, I don't know, the TQFR 250. I'll have to look that up.
What is a tech angle? Is that
Tech
just an
angle,
angle torque wrench?
yeah, just the angle torque wrench. That's what
Oh,
Snap-on
okay.
calls
All right.
them.
I didn't know if it was like some sort of torque multiplier.
250. No, that's just what they call them.
Okay. I just call it a torque wrench.
I'll look this one up.
Everything in my line of work is an angle.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think I see anything that's not an angle minus like an intake or an oil pan gasket, which, I mean, for those, I will use the Ulsa. I will use a Tecton. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll have my
doesn't matter.
Snap-on guy check it, but, you know, it's going to be fine. But the big ones are going to be Snap-on, and that's the only one I'm going to trust.
It's so anyway, the torque wrench he's referring to is the beam style quick dial on the side click type torque wrench. Is the tech angle worth the upgrade? If you're doing angles, yes. 100%.
Yeah.
If you're not doing angles, nope. If you're doing tires and oil pans and
lug
stuff
nut,
like that, stick with the lug nuts. Keep the click type is perfect.
You don't have to. You don't even have to zero it every time. That's the cool thing about the beam style.
Yeah,
you don't have to zero it.
What do?
You leave that shit at 100 and go back and click it at 75, and it's fine.
Sticker companies making big money for the people that rebrand it. Yep. 100 subs, getting them. Yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, it was tough. It's tough to. They asked me what I wanted and they've asked me a couple of times, and I'm staying away from that. I don't want to be the promoter, I guess. I want to just tell you what I like and go from there.
You might not like what you have to say. That's what I have to say. I have to say this. You send me a tool, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I think of it. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry, but that's what I do.
I had a tool company contact me about it, and I told them that straight up. All tool companies do that. It's all cool. That's the Blue Point version of it, right? Yep. Yeah, 9. Yeah, that's the. I'll snap on.
I don't like Mac. We don't have crap for Mac drivers in California. Every mechanic I meet has a drawer full of Mac tools that are broken that they can't get warranted because their Mac driver sucks.
That's the same type of thing in Michigan here.
Yeah. Snap-on is the only thing worth it. We even have Matco, where it's not the only thing that is 100% guaranteed is that Snap-on will be there every week.
Yep.
In my area where I work over 16 years, Snap-on is the only thing that will be there every week.
Same here,
no matter what.
Same here. No matter what, they're there.
New driver, it doesn't matter. Somebody will be there every week.
Yeah. The biggest thing is, like, I don't know, if you're doing like I said, just it's whatever you feel comfortable with and what works for you. But at the end of the day, you buy what you can afford at the time. I have lent out my tech angle to a few people. And they're people I trust. If it's somebody that needs something torqued and they need to borrow my torque wrench, I'm probably going to do the torquing. Unless I really, really trust them.
Same here, brother.
You know what I mean?
Here.
Like, I'll pull that baby. It's mine. I don't want you. Yeah.
Oh, hell no. Hey, I agree with you 100%. If I don't trust somebody, they're not touching that damn torque wrench. That shit costs way too much.
Yeah.
Way too much reliability there to let some flunky mess with it.
He had the best.
Whatever. Wait, you lived in Sacramento, Ty Ty? Brother, you didn't tell me that. Whatever.
Matco sucks around here.
Hey, I'm only speaking of what I've seen in my area.
Merry
I
Christmas,
know, like
Renegade.
my Matco driver
I don't know why
just
you're
retired
leaving.
not that long ago. He was in this area for like 30 years. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, in my opinion, between the different trucks, what I've seen is the only reliability is Snap-on in my area. Now, everywhere that in this country, there are going to be different drivers, and every driver for every company is going to have different reliability. You have some guys that will be there every week because they're like us that don't miss a day of work. But you're going to have some guys that are flaky as hell that might miss 1 out of 5 weeks because they just felt like taking a day off. So you're going to see that. Remember, as we talk like this, he lives in Michigan. I live in California. You know, Ty Ty lived in Sacramento. At one time, he lives in Southern California, right? We all live all over the world. I mean, all over the country. Well, maybe the world, who knows? But we all have our own experiences in our own time frame with our own drivers. And that's what we're speaking of. I'm only speaking of my experience in my area at this time.
And that's
so
and that's what
as we talk.
That's the tough part. He worked in 2018. He worked at International Dealer in West Sacramento in 2018. So 2 years ago, he said he had one in West Sacramento. I don't know where you're at.
Who was the drive? Ty Ty, what was the company? Was it Mac or Matco? See, I have a Mac. He said Mac.
Yeah, Mac.
Well, they all say that, but it's a pain in the ass.
They send it out. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
My torque wrench costs more than my car. It's pretty good.
Your poor car.
Yeah, nervous. I could hear it in your voice, Jude, when he was pulling on that torque wrench. I'm like,
I thought my son was. Oh, you live in the Bay Area, KE?
Yeah.
Oh, Richmond. Okay.
Mac.
Oh, okay, Mac. Okay. See, I had a Mac guy come around. I didn't see a Mac guy for years. I lived in Benicia, and I lived in Sacramento. And this is what I was talking about. I lived in Benicia. I had a guy with a full Mac, with a full drawer of broken Mac tools. I moved to Sacramento, and I met 2 or 3 guys that had a drawer full of broken Mac tools. Then I met a Mac driver who sold me a plier set with a free something, right? And then the first time I used the cutters, the tips V'd out the very first time. And that guy never came back. So not only did I have a broken set of cutters, he never brought me my free pliers. And I didn't see a Mac driver for years. But thankfully, the next Mac driver that came around sold me. Now, this is going to be ironic, the Sun X wobble sockets. He told me that he wouldn't sell me Mac wobble sockets because they're the same quality, but the same warranty. And so he sold me Sun X. And I loved him so much that I bought, like, I don't know, I think in my video I talk about I have like 3 or 4 or 5 different sets of wobble sockets. But it was from a Mac driver. And then he retired. And then since then, still no Mac driver. So, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's all just different times. 15 years ago, you could have talked to somebody that lived in Sacramento in my exact area, and they would have said, "Oh my God, I had the best Mac driver. He was better than the Snap-on guy." You know, and with the wrench here, you know what I mean? It's just, But I can say this with certainty that Snap-on is more consistent across the board, across the country, across the area than the other 2. From what I have experienced, what I've seen, what I've talked to, it's no lie that, you know, it is for the most part, Snap-on is more reliable.
That's where I'm at too. His first name was Sergey.
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 Wow, Russian guy. You sure you didn't live in Rancho Cordova? Ty? Come on now. I am in Mather. I live on the outskirts of Sacramento. Not far out of Sacramento. Oh, I lived in Benicia. I worked at Alex's Automotive right off of 680. The off-ramp. Caltrans used to push cars down the off-ramp into our parking lot when they broke down the freeway. Yeah, no shit. The last one I ever had was the truck had a driveline break, and they pushed them right down the off-ramp right into our parking lot. And I pulled the driveline out, sent it out, and had it rebuilt, or had a new driveline, I think. But yeah, that was when I first started this industry too. Like I was like still in school, I think, at that time. What?
Make a video of your Mac tools, calling them, and make a thing of your warranty. That's what he's saying. Make a video on it.
Oh, CP, I'm talking about just the inconvenience of having to call and all of that. I might as well buy a Sunex tool socket or whatever. That's what I meant by that. If I have to call to get Mac or Matco or Snap-on to warranty a tool, it's not worth it. If I have to call to get a Sunex socket warranted, it's worth it. Big difference. Big difference in price, big difference in convenience, right?
You're paying for the convenience.
We pay these prices for convenience. We pay because somebody comes out to us every week and they pick up our broken tool and they take it and they bring it to us.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I mean by that. And I could be wrong. Maybe for you, it's really simple. You know, for me, it's like if I'm going to pay that extra price of that truck price, I want somebody to come every week and pick it up and drop it. I mean, what do you think, Brent? What do you think?
I think if I'm paying the truck price, I want the truck convenience. But at the same time, I understand that some of that stuff it's tough. It's not really the manufacturer's fault that their drivers suck or they left the area or whatever it may be, or they lost a driver. You know, it's a tough road to hoe for them too. But at the same time, if I got tools, like right now, I've had some Matco tools over at another branch going to a dealer, trying to get them warranted, and I've been waiting 2 months to get my stuff warranted. Some drill bits that are the Matco lifetime warranty drill bits. I've been waiting 2 months to get them from a dealer over there. It's a guy that I know that's taking them to the dealer, so pretty reliable, but I'm still trying to get them warranted. It's not fun. I lived in.
Oh my God, that's funny.
You're like
I used
neighbors.
to work at Canisel's Auto Center in Citrus Heights. Hi.
I'm in Richmond, Family Elk Grove.
Oh, nice. I don't live far from Elk Grove at all. Nice. I said, hey, if you ever come through, man, give me a call. We'll go have a beer.
Yeah.
Or a beverage.
Yeah, whatever. It's all good.
Yeah, you know.
Well, I think we're gonna end the live stream. You can just hang on for a minute after I end, and we'll say see you later, guys. I'm out for the night. It's been 3.5 hours. I gotta get some sleep for tomorrow. Yeah.
And you were a hell of a date, man. I didn't even realize it'd been that long.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Man. So I'm gonna end the broadcast, and you guys have a great night, and we will catch you later. Tools with Tone was on tonight. Check him out. Or Nuts and Bolts with Tone. Tools with Tone. Jesus. We've been talking Tools with Tone. But Nuts and Bolts, I'm Nuts. He's Bolts. We're Tone, I guess. I don't know. It's crazy.
Heavy wrench here.
Have a great night, and we'll catch you guys next Saturday, hopefully.